can start introducing yourself. You all could start introducing yourself if you don't mind. It's not compulsory, but then it'll be nice if we know each other. Um, Maybe I'll start with myself. I'm Ramesh Ranjan. I'm one of the co-founders of the Global HR community. I've been about 40 years of work experience, 30 years in the corporate world, having been the head of HR of companies like Schneider Electric, American Power Conversion, Chevron, Texaco, Praxair India, Co Systems, and others. And took an early break from corporate, and I've been pursuing my passion in terms of teaching, consulting, and entrepreneurial spirit. And that's about me. I operate out of the Uttarali office of GHRC. Maybe Pankaj, you want to share
Yeah,
something about yourself? Anybody?
sure. Hey, good morning, guys. Nice to connect practically the last working day of the current financial year. So wishing all the best to everybody and wishing great success and prosperity. My name is Pankaj Peparia. Uh, I'm currently work with a company called VMatter, which is an employee well-being and employee engagement digital platform. Before that, I was with IBM and I was leading IBM Connector. Before, I was with the engagement and culture practice of Eon Hewitt. And prior to that, I'm ex-partner of Gallup. So employee engagement is an area wherein I have worked significantly with the world's best, employee engagement models. And that learning we have invested in creating the digital platform at VMeta, which is the infusion of, multi-generation model, which is a infusion of proven science, user-friendly technology, and deep analytics. Would be happy to help and work all of you guys regarding employee engagement, employee well-being. I'm based in Bangalore and dear friend of Ramesh and Mr. Nathan and Shri, everybody. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Pankaj. And for such of those who are not members of the GHRC, I would encourage you all to please leave your name and email ID and phone number so that people can reach out to you, and we can also add you to our database and reach out to you for future events and programs.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Ramesh, Pankaj, Mihir. Okay, my name is Ankur Patel and I belong from Ahmedabad. I'm a director in a company named Orange Technolab. We have been specialized into HRMS solution. Almost 22 years of experience from entrepreneur journey to the HR domain, and looking forward to see you further. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us all the way from Ahmedabad. Yes, Samir?
Yeah, I'm Samir Wag. I'm CEO Chairman and MD of Solutions. We have a platform for an ERP platform or Salesforce, which is equivalent to Tally on cloud. And it is
Can't
a
hear you, Samir, maybe.
we are my company. I'm Samir Wag, CEO Chairman and MD of Complex Solutions. I come from a background of corporate with around 25 years in TCS, Nasdaq, Hexaware, and then started my own company. Currently, I'm running it for the last 20 years, 15, 20 years. What we have built out a platform on the Salesforce with ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning Solution, which is equivalent to Tally on cloud, and it's a functionally exact equivalent to it. And we have my integrating new platforms for human resources management solutions and having all the Salesforce marketing cloud and various other commerce cloud and various industry clouds connected with it to provide it to corporate. I would love to learn some more about certain HRMS products where we would like to integrate the AI part in this current session, as well as certain other products which we would like to integrate it with in our platform. And we are always open to become a partner, do partnership with various other organizations, and where our partners provide also consulting services, additional types of products, implementation services, design services or any other which come along with the platform and provide it to the end customer. Likewise, we are also opening up a new initiatives like Entrepreneurship Institute and various things like any type of a digital uh, and fidget organizations. And our platforms are also free for non-profits for 10 user license.
So you,
I hope you got what I'm said, or was I audible or what?
no, it was audible. It was audible.
Yeah, great.
Anyone else would like to talk about themselves, the company?
Hi,
Yeah,
Ramesh.
Dr. Manohar.
Thank
Dr.
you. Thank you
Manohar.
very much. It was a great event yesterday. It was an opportunity to meet so many people, and I had to leave early for another meeting. Thanks a lot anyway. And talk about myself. My name is Manohar Chikkanna. I come from the education space and the startup ecosystem with industry background and then the education background. I'm also the chairman of Indian Society for Training and Development. It is a 54-year-old organization based in Delhi, but having chapters across the country. I'm chairman of the Bangalore chapter. Apart from that, on the industry body as well, because of my industry connect and participation, I am also chosen to be chairman of All India Manufacturers Organization, which is a 85-year-old organization founded by Sir M. Visvesvaraya with a slogan that industrialize or perish. Now today we have come to another slogan, innovate or exit. So we are working on both sides, industry as well as the academia, connecting as a bridge. I'd be very happy to support any of you who are there in the system, in the group here. Whether you would like to, we have created programs even for industry people to become professors. Today, education policy provides opportunity for entrepreneurs and industry managers to become professors of practice. We have created a bridge program which will orient them to understand what is the academic setup and how do you bring your knowledge to the classroom and kind of things. I'll be very happy to share that later. This is a great network. I must thank Ramesh for creating this opportunity. I look forward to learning today something about the subject of AI and its application in HR area and kind of things. Thanks a lot for this opportunity. Thank you, Ramesh.
Thank you, Dr. Manohar. I
I have
think
posted
I've been
my mail ID in the chat box, and if anyone would like to have me, and I'd be very happy to work with you, support you. It's not always a commercial proposition that I bring. It's a collaboration. It's a peer learning is what I believe in, and we'll be very happy to support you.
Thank
If
you,
some of
Dr.
you would
Manohar,
like
and
to, if some of you would like to go to colleges and teach, yes, I'll be happy to connect you. Also, if there are academia who want to work on the boards of startups and industry, also we'll be able to support you on this. Thank you very much.
Super.
great opportunity, Dr. Manohar. I've been a example of a professor of practice. I worked with a few colleges as a professor of practice, and I think it's a great platform for us to give back to the society.
Very
Many
much.
of you all want to give back to the society, share your knowledge and experience. And I think no better person than Dr. Manohar to reach out to share some of your experiences to the future leaders of this country, the students of the universities and academic institutions.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Vijay wanted to say something?
Very interesting, sir. Very interesting, in fact. Just very interesting, sir. Just sometimes the best way to learn. Very interesting, sir. Please continue.
No, go ahead, Vijay. Anyone else? Anybody can come forward and share about themselves.
So, sir, I feel you should do some event in Hyderabad also, sir, because Bangalore is the biggest place in India, but then Hyderabad is small, brother. We also want to learn, and slowly this this global HR company is also picking up very, very big way here. So Ramesh sir, one day you should come and do some MDP or a small workshop in this region, bringing 1 or 2 experts also with you.
We'll be more than happy to do that, Vijay, provided we have sufficient interest. Certainly, I'll be more than happy to discuss with you offline, and we'll be more than happy to come to Hyderabad. Why Hyderabad? Anywhere, Ahmedabad, anywhere.
Because we control most of the companies out here, whether it's for example, 20 years I had this Hyderabad Management Association, and people keep on seeing the good work being done. It's almost like a LinkedIn of HR, you can say, no? And we see a lot of your posts also.
Thank you.
It's a Srikanth also.
Yeah, Hyderabad is a very important place. One GCC summit is also happening, I think this week or next week in Hyderabad.
Exactly, you hit the nail on the head, sir. The GCC is upcoming. There are some 45 of them that I have counted. I have met all the heads. The only major issue they're having is a lack of this skilled talent. Otherwise, they want some programs specially designed for the junior people, and something for the middle management, and something for the senior management. And for the junior people, they also want us to involve some other skills like resilience, so that the fellows will not run away midway. In first year only, the attrition rate is very high, anywhere from 30 to 50%. But in some organizations, I found the GCC attrition rate between 70% also. So
Yeah,
they're saying, sir, please also involve some skills involving something like a resilience, or like the young people who come, how they should stay in the organization at least 2-3 years like that. No?
So please do
design
share the information about the Hyderabad event.
Not only this event, sir, that multiple events. The government has made it like a GCC.
No, what you mentioned the GCC conclave is happening. You
Yes,
mentioned, no?
multiple conclaves are happening, sir. In the last 3 months, more than 6 have happened. One something dedicated either the BFSI or that pharma licenses, something like that. We got a lot of categories, sir, and there are multiple. This GCC conclave is a big one. Otherwise, also we have a lot of these sectoral GCCs coming up in a big way. Out of that, BFSI is the biggest one, followed by IT, ITS, and pharma licenses.
yeah. Pharma, the bulk drug manufacturing, Hyderabad is a bigger.
Unfortunately, we are not having people. Last time we had that meet with the special chief secretary of Telangana. Shortage of people, sir. Shortage of skill development is very important. Something has to be done in this segment.
ఒక వెబినార్ పెట్టాను ఇప్పుడు స్టార్ట్ అయింది చూడండి మీకు చాలా రోజుల క్రితం పెట్టాను.
It's the biggest paradox, right? One side there's a war for talent. Everybody cribs saying that we don't have enough talent, and on the other side there are universities and students who are passing out in droves and not getting enough jobs. So I think that's the biggest challenge this country is facing, because I've seen on both sides. I've been on the employer side, I've also been on the academic side, and I know what's a big challenge. And I think collectively all of us need to come together to see how we can crack this biggest challenge of this country.
So the interesting thing is funds availability is not an issue. From the government side also, we are ready to sponsor any of the events. And from the corporate side also, last time we had this pharma thing, and there are a lot of CSR funds available for the skilling sector. Olden times, the CSR funds used to think of, charity and all that, no? But now they're thinking of livelihoods and skill development. That also is one of the important focus areas. So maybe we can share some mails. Otherwise, if you come to Hyderabad, maybe we could meet the heads of the different organizations. And then only one event.
I also hope that, Vijay, you know that we have one of the largest upskilling platform on GHRC, where we offer 150,000 courses covering about 1,800 skills and 2,400 job roles. And this is just not restricted to people management, leadership, or behavior. We have a lot of technical and functional skills also as part of the upskilling platform. And I think if people come onto this platform and leverage it, it's a great opportunity for people to upskill, besides, of course, networking and other areas also.
Yes, sir. No, undoubtedly, it is the greatest platform. Only one thing we want to submit, sir, to make the beginning, that last mile connectivity. Maybe we'll do some small events so that people are aware of it. I think in India, there, like Hyderabad, will have at least some few thousand HR, at least 10,000 HR people maybe. But out of them, not even 1% or 0.1% know these type of resources are available on GHRC and all that.
No.
So little bit
Thank you
awareness
so much,
program, sir.
Vijay.
Little bit
Yeah, thank you for
awareness.
evangelizing GHRC, and we look forward to your support in promoting it in Hyderabad. And be more than happy to come along with Srikant Nathan to come and address some
Yeah,
of the HR
great man, sir. Actually, he was invited by the government of Telangana to speak as the keynote speaker. Unfortunately, that day, I think he had some conflicting assignment. So he had a prior commitment and he couldn't make it. Otherwise, all the people are set that day. Somebody from GHRC could come down maybe down the line. I'll accompany them physically. I'm an entrepreneur. I have my two companies, one with 527 people and one with 125 people. I handle all the projects of the state out here, empaneled with every bank.
Anyone else?
Vijay, let's talk to each other on, I'll connect with you. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
I encourage all the people on the call to know each other and network. See, right now we got some good leads from Hyderabad. We got somebody from Ahmedabad. We've got HR tech organizations. We got somebody from the academic institutions who's willing to support you to enter into the universities or go into the startup boards. So please make use of this opportunity to network and know each other. Good morning. Usually women are very vocal. Today I don't find much women speaking.
We had really good evening, Ramesh, yesterday, so we are still, tired.
And second thing is women are again always multitasking. So there is another issue as well to sit and talk.
Yeah, Deepa, well said.
I'm sorry to say this, but I must accept that. So
Okay.
sorry guys. Yeah, sure.
But all said and done, I definitely want to, introduce myself. So I'm
Sure.
Kumuda. I'm, co-founding a company called Stocast. We are, renewing human experience in workplaces. So this session is really interesting for me. So this is what actually we do. Whether a human solves a problem or the AI or a digitization solves a problem. This is what we are building, by integrating people, culture, and HR tech implementations in the company. Look forward to learning from this session more. Thank you.
Thank you, Kumuda.
Sir, good morning. I'm Mahalakshmi from Madurai. I am working as a HR manager in Aurolab. It's a part of Arvind ecosystem. Here we manufacture all kinds of ophthalmic devices and drugs. So, and recently we have implemented HRMS software also. And currently we are collaborating with vMatter for the engagement survey. And I just want to understand deeper understanding of AI in the field of HR domain. So for that, I made use of this opportunity, and thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Mahalakshmi, for joining us from Madurai. We are truly global, right? We got people from all over the country. I hope somewhere from all over the world also. We had an event last week where we had a speaker from Netherlands. So,
sir, your audio is very feeble, sir. I'm not able to hear you properly. I don't know whether it is my system fault or in generally others are.
No, Maha. In fact, we are able to hear you properly, loud and clear.
Okay. But when you speak, I'm able to hear only 30-40% of the audio. I don't know whether it is my system fault. I'll check that again.
sure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maha. Ramesh, sir, these people in Oro Labs doing a phenomenal work in Madurai area. So they are one of our client, like she mentioned, of vMatter. We are happy to partner with them. Okay, and lots of good work, related to, particularly for the, healthcare segment.
Yes.
Generally, we think a lot of progressive work happens only in the metro cities, in the multinationals, in the big organizations. But as you rightly said, I've seen a lot of good work happens in tier 2, tier 3 cities and in smaller organizations which are not very well known. A lot of good work happens in such areas. And it's very happy to see that in non-IT industries also we're doing a lot of great work.
Urban eye care, other places where ROFs is related, for the, improving eyesight, which is a very important challenge. Like when Titan started the initiative for truck drivers. So our rural India people take eyesight for granted. And this is where the work is being done. Thank you, Ma, for joining.
Thank you, sir.
So we got another 5 minutes before we formally start. We have 45 people on the call, so
I'm just waiting for my introduction when I do my presentation, Ramesh. Otherwise, I was tempted to do my introduction again.
your introduction,
Shantanu?
Mihir, will be done by our team. So,
Okay.
Shantanu, you want to introduce yourself or say
Yes,
something?
yeah, actually, I would just like to introduce myself. I'm Shantanu. I'm associated with TE Connectivity in Pune, and I'm acting as an HRBP here in Pune.
You're
So I
part
would,
of Prakriti's team.
yes, yes.
Nice to
I,
have T on the call. Thank you.
yeah, so Ruhul forwarded me this invitation in the morning. Thanks for
Thank
this.
you.
Thank you. Here's a connecting with you, Shantanu.
Yes, yes, sir.
How is TE connectivity business doing this year?
Yeah, actually, I'm part of automotive business
Uh,
in Pune. So Pune supports for automobile industry. Yeah, it is good. Last year it was a little bit low compared to earlier years, but slowly we'll be, grabbing the business. Yeah, because some of our main customers in Europe, VW, they are facing a big problem, and they are, in Germany and Europe, some of the plants are getting closed for VW. So it is not directly affecting our facility, but it is affecting other tea facilities.
good to see the manufacturing industry of Make in India is shaping up.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. Thank you.
Let's connect.
I think what I'll do is I will do a quick introduction about GHRC, and then of course my colleague will do an introduction of Mihir, and then we'll hand it over to Mihir. So good morning to everyone, and welcome to this webinar on a Saturday morning on a topic which is very dear to me, and of course is the need of the hour, that is AI-powered HR transforming talent acquisition, engagement, L&D, and the workforce experience. But before that, let me say a few words about the global HR community, or GHRC as it's popularly known as. The GHRC is a digital platform which helps people in terms of professional networking and brings together people managers, business leaders, HR professionals, entrepreneurs, academicians, and students to promote organizational excellence through people, through what we call our guiding principles of discover, connect, learn, grow, and contribute. In a span of about 1 year, today our community has grown to have about 2,200 members, about 60 companies listed on our listing services, 12 corporates listed in our corporate memberships. We have got about 150,000 courses on our academy. We have about 1,500 jobs as part of a job board, 60 assessments in our assessments where you can know more about yourself. And we have conducted more than 60 events over the last 1 year, including some marquee events with Peter de Mendes, Keith Ferrazzi, and others. So this is basically a platform which helps in terms of, as I said, bringing people together basically to connect, to learn, and to grow. As part of Discover, we help people to know more about themselves because everybody is in the pursuit of who am I. So our assessments help you to know who you are through the assessments that we have. As part of Connect, we organize networking events, plus the platform itself helps you in terms of knowing other members in the community, to connect with them, to build networks, and then to follow and to message them in private. We also have a marketplace which brings together the product and service providers and the seekers through our listing services, where people can list their company or as an individual. As I said before, we have got about 60 of the listing companies listed already so far. We also have, as part of Learn, an academy which offers learning programs, training programs. We conduct offline programs and online programs, and this webinar is also part of that particular process where we help people to learn newer skills, get updated, and to upskill themselves. As I said earlier before, we have an upskilling platform which offers 150,000 courses covering 1,800 skills and 2,400 job roles. In terms of grow, as I said before, we have forums where people can join self-interest groups and promote their topics within the groups. And of course, our job boards helps you in terms of seeking job opportunities or providing job opportunities for others. We have a marketplace where we bring together digital products and books. As of now, we've got about 250 digital products and books listed on our marketplace. And then, of course, as part of Contribute, if somebody wants to give back to the society, back to the community, we have an opportunity to contribute through your research papers, articles, and case studies. Also, you can volunteer yourself to become a coach or a mentor. And then we also have a hackathon where you can participate in some of the socio-economic problems and challenges faced in the community. So this is in brief about what the Global HR community is about. Today, we have realized that why do we restrict this community just to the HR fraternity? And therefore, we have also launched Communios, which is basically the company which helped power GHRC on the technology front. And I'm very happy to share that Communios today has been able to replicate the success of GHRC on 3 other fronts. With Britannia Industries, the Britannia, or what you call as the Britannia Community of Managers. With Machani, we have built a Machani tribe, which is the community of managers for the Machani group. And then latest office has been with Texnere, where we built the next tribe. So we are now in a position where we can build communities for anybody, irrespective of the domain. And if any one of you all are interested in building communities for your organizations, we will be able to help you in terms of providing you a digital platform and also in terms of managing communities. So without much ado, I think I will hand it over to Ritika to introduce Mihir and the topic, and then she will hand it over to Mihir for the formal start of this particular program. Ritika, over to you.
Thank you, sir. Welcome everybody to today's webinar on AI-powered HR, transforming talent acquisition, engagement, learning development, and workforce experience. I am Ritika Halakatti, and I'm excited to be a part of this session as we explore how AI is transforming HR, making hiring, engagement, and learning smarter and more efficient. We are honored to have Mihir Kumar Jhaveri, an expert in business strategy, product innovation, and AI-driven transformation. With experience across engineering, manufacturing, and edtech, he brings valuable insights on integrating AI into HR for efficiency and growth. The role of AI in HR is expanding rapidly, reshaping traditional process and enhancing workforce strategies. Mihir will share how AI-driven tools can enhance efficiency, reduce bias, and personalize employee experiences. So welcome Mihir to GHRC's webinar. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Can you guys see my screen? Are you guys able to see my
We
screen?
can see that.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay,
I
perfect.
think you have to come closer or we're not able to hear you so loud.
And you're able to hear my screen now?
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. First of all, thank you very much. As said, my name is Mihir Jhaveri, and thanks for giving me this opportunity to do a presentation here. I carry more than 27 years of experience. 15 years I have lived outside India. I'm a basically Gujarati, currently based out of Ahmedabad, but born and brought up in Tamil Nadu in Trichinapalli, a town near Srirangam. My college happened in Coimbatore PSC College of Technology. I am by education I'm BE Mechanical Engineer. Played various roles. Hardcore techie guy, became a project manager, program manager, then became a sales head, became a P&L owner, business management owner. Currently, I'm a chief revenue officer. HR is a part of my core function. Recruitment is part of my core function. L&D is part of my core function, apart from my product development team. So basically, the advantage what I bring to the table is I'm a people officer also by domain. I am also a technology officer by domain. So I'm able to marry the people processes with technology and also how AI is infusing. That's what I'm going to talk about today. So my agenda today is going to bear with me. I have plenty of things to share in 90 minutes. So I will be trying to share in all perspective what is AI's role going to be in future of HR, how AI is going to help in talent acquisition and hiring, how AI is now assisting in L&D, how AI is also going to make it employee engagement, and then predictive analytics and workforce planning. And because of all of this, there is also certain challenges and ethical consideration which we need to do, because we also represent the HR and we also represent the people actually. So that is what I'm planning to cover today. So first of all, AI's role, what I want to tell every one of us, we all know AI is going to be there. AI is not going to run away now. Yeah. So we have to embrace AI. So what is first very important thing is the strategic transformation is happening here. So AI is reshaping how now HR is going to operate here. Everywhere now it has to be a data-driven decision. And earlier it used to be based on the individual, or it used to be based on institution. Yeah. Second thing, what is really happening is the automation has taken over now. Yeah. Now, if I want to get a policy, I want to know what is my rights. I want to put a POSH, whether it is related to it or not. Everywhere now automation has come in here. Third, very important thing now, experience is becoming very important. Earlier, we used to only say customer experience, then it became a vendor experience. Then now word became an employee experience, and now experience using AI is being tailored, because the next generation which is coming now into the system, into the corporate world, they are not patient. I'll give you an example. Today, all of us use Swiggy, all of us use Zomato, we use all the apps today available to our hand. Even if there is a delay of 2 or 3 minutes, we become restless. We keep on checking whether the deliver boy is in right direction or not, etc. Why? Because that is the expectation today. Yeah. So it is very important that HR also starts going in that direction. Yeah. So now why the shift is happening? Yeah, the shift is happening because from an institution perspective, now it all has to be going to database. Yeah. Now, since data is there, in a small organization, it is very easy. When I have 100 people, 500 people, it is very easy. But when I have a scale, now using the data, then how do I drive it? Yeah, that is where AI starts coming into picture. Yeah. So AI can personalize, it can also do a predictive, it can also do a proactive approach. Yeah. Second thing, very important thing is what we need to keep in mind from HR perspective is we as a HR, it is going to be human plus machine. So it has to be always a collaboration. No one is replacing any job here. So that we need to take away from the mindset. So it has to be a strategic partnership here. And AI is going to enable a capability here. So those are the shifts happening here. Now, why AI suddenly it has been picked up? Because of two things. Personalized demand. Now, every employee is very unique. He is expecting from his perspective a learning path. He is expecting from his perspective a decision making. He is expecting a real-time decision. He is expecting a hybrid work complexity, because some days he likes to work from office, some days he likes to work from somewhere, some days he likes to have a half day work from any place. And second thing is, immense amount of data is now being generated in our system here. Now, all of this is where it is pushing the drivers, and why AI is picking up in HR now. We all are HR professionals, so you all are aware of the timeline. So I'll not go into the detail, but we started with manual and paper-based processes. It used to be there in the HR department. Then in 2000, the basic HR software started coming into picture. 2010 onwards, cloud-based HR platforms started enabling that you can be from anywhere, we can access the data. 2020, few AI-powered tools started coming into intelligent decision making. 2027, 2030, we are going to see now it is going to be a predictive. Predictive means what I'm trying to say is HR will also come to know whether this employee is predicting to leave the organization or not based on the symptoms. Is this employee going to perform the task or not? Is this employee looking for change or not? Is this employee looking for growth within the organization or not? Whether this employee is ready to take up multiple challenges. So all of this prediction is going to come now into from an employee perspective here. This will only come in when we have a process, we have data in place here. So now I'll go into a high level AI powered HR decision making. So first, where it is going to skill based role assignment. Now AI is going to predict using what specific roles each skill is going to be needed. It is going to be a data driven thing. Why? Because currently what is happening when we take interviews, whether it is by a technical team or by HR from a cultural fitment, there is always a bias coming in here. Because, oh my God, someone is from Ahmedabad, I know him, let me give him a preference treatment. Oh, someone is from my college, let me give him a preference. Yeah. Oh, someone from my network referred him, let me give a preference. Now, all of that, when it becomes AI driven, that bias goes away from the system actually. Second thing is a promotion forecasting. Now, we as a human being are always looking for promotion. We always are looking for how do I quickly grow. Now, AI based on the models available today, using the LLM, using the SLM, and based on the historical performance, now we will be start giving a pattern when that each employee can have a promotion. So currently most of the organization are having an annual promotion, etc. Now what the trend is happening, it is going to be happening if he is capable, if he has occurred his past thing, promotion happens. It's not going to be a consolidated promotional activity. That is the paradigm shift what we have now started seeing happening, because that is what the Gen Z is now demanding and asking. I don't want my evaluation to happen in October. I don't want my evaluation to happen in April. I don't want my evaluation to happen in December. I don't want my evaluation to happen in March. As I hit my KPIs, what the organization is asking for me, and if I have those capabilities, then I'm looking for promotion here. Second, last very important thing is a cultural analysis. Now, because of the paradigm shift happening in AI, paradigm shift happening in thought process, in the thought, in the how we are thinking, etc. Now, every organization is really needed to know the cultural analysis. Is it a positive sentiment of the workforce? Is it a negative sentiment of the workforce? Or the workforce is neutral? And how the organization health we are going to manage here. All of this, I have a detailed slides in the subsequent thing. Currently, I'm just talking at high level. Once we go into the letters, each of this, I am going to go into a deeper thing here. From a recruitment perspective, now we get too many resumes coming into our boxes actually. So how do I do a processing? What are those key things needed? What is the matching candidates I have to do? See, currently certain things we have hard coded, certain things we have just said A is equal to A. But if majority of you all have started using predictive or agentic AI, or if you have started using where I can question, for example, I just put across, give me top 5 CVs where applicant has worked in IBM, and also he should have done this particular project, and he should have also stayed in US, and he should have also done this. Immediately AI will scan through the whole database and recommend here are the 3 people who have given the CV to the organization in this particular date, and here is his LinkedIn profile. He is very active, or he is looking out. This is what the other job portals are saying. All of that smart now resuming processing is possible using AI now. Yeah. Second thing, AI will also start giving out a fitment score for automatically based on the certain patterns, what it is there in the public domain. Plus, if you all want to have a closed door assessment, AI will start generating even before the candidate comes for the interview, anything, the AI will start giving a scoring mechanism here. Now, very interesting thing comes interview analytics here. Now, major places, what was happening is interviews were happening, the body language, people were masking, it was a video interview. Now, using AI, we can start seeing a facial, we can start seeing the body confidence. Based on the voice, we can come to know how confident he's able to pitch in, how was his tone analysis, was he aggressive, was he neutral, was he very calm, how will he handle the pressure? All of those insights now candidates will be, AI will be able to provide here. So when there is a leadership assessment happening, and when you're giving a stress-based situation and how the participants are going to coordinate, how they are going to talk about it, all of those analytics now we will be getting it at fingertip here. And why this is very important is because today someone interviews and the management or the manager or the supervisor is sitting somewhere else here. He likes to know what the insight has happened. Of course, he will get the feedback from the interior, it will come to his desk, but also the AI will generate a transcript and will generate an insight, and also it will come to the supervisor and it will also go to the management actually. So management will get 360-degree. It will get from an AI perspective, it will also get from an interior perspective. And then you can take a call, how should I take a decision actually? And this all is going to accelerate the hiring. Yeah. Now, as I told you earlier, AI bias-free hiring is the need of the hour actually. Yeah. So AI is the perfect candidate where it will minimize all the unconscious human bias in the selection process. See, we may not be knowing, but we have this bias within ourselves actually. Yeah. Second thing, it is very important to do a structured assessment here. So based on skills and behavior, not make a subjective impression here. And last very important thing, this is what the global workforce and also India, it is very picking up is diversity, equity, and inclusion here. We have to have a compliance now here. Because what happens is when any interior is trying to interview, because of certain diversity or certain inclusion, we are very biased towards certain races here. We are biased towards certain behaviors, certain local, certain locations, certain colleges. Now, all of this algorithm will be built where everyone will become inclusive. So everyone gets a level fair. It's an equity-based hiring actually. Yeah. And that is what the outcome everyone are looking for towards it. Yeah. Now, this is where the biggest innovation is going to happen is on the L&D side here. See, still now what used to happen is in any industry, whether it's an IT-driven industry or whether it is manufacturing, whether it is pharma, whether it is a specialty chemical, whether it is a food processing, we used to have a 10-year learning paradigm here. So all the time HR used to go and ask all the business leader and say, okay, please recommend what are the 10 courses or 20 courses you like in this financial year or in this calendar year, which various grades or various bands or across the organization you like to do it. And there used to be internally, we used to do a classroom-based training, or we used to call a external faculty and do it here. Now the need of the hour is going to be a personalized learning here, because everyone has a different expectation and different speed actually here. And everyone wants to have a customized learning.
Bye-bye.
And everyone likes to have a customized learning path. Now, this is where HR role becomes very important, because we have to become an enabler. Now, HR has to take care of all the employees here. Some will be faster, some will be slow, some will not be able to adapt to this here. So from HR, as a department, as a L&D, we need to see how we are hand-holding all of these personas actually. Now, other important thing is, apart from the personalized learning, micro-learning is becoming the need of the hour here. Now, AI is generating the content and giving a curated content. I'll use the word curated content because see, if I use a chat GPT, we will get a content here. But whether it is right or wrong, so what is very important is the L&D department or HR department has to curate the content, get a curated data set here. Using the curated data set, we have to create a micro learning, because today the Gen Z which are coming in, they need small micro learning packets here, so that maximum retention can happen in the mind actually. And very important thing is it has to be a performance-based upskilling here. So now based on AI seeing this is a recommendation, this is a skill set, this is a rubric score. Now AI will start recommending this is the learning path what you have to take if you have to do a upskilling here. And very important thing is internal mobility matching here. Now what is happening is when there is a larger organization, I have multiple locations, multiple factories, etc. Now, if I want to do a movement of one employee from one location to another location, from one business unit to another business unit, or from one business function to another business function, there is plenty of politics, there is plenty of dynamics going into it. Now, if AI is introduced, and this is what it is bringing the best cases in all the workforces is, it will go and see the opportunity, it will go and see the employee's fitment, and AI will start recommending to the skip one level that this is a potential list of employees who can be looked into a new roles or who can be swapped into a new roles, etc. Yeah. So all of these changes is now happening in L&D function actually. And now comes very important thing, because HR also plays a role in engagement and to understand the workforce sentiment actually. So we have HR which does plenty of events. HR will be doing plenty of employee engagement events. We will have plenty of surveys. We will get plenty of feedback forms. We will do stay interviews. We will do exit interviews. All type of it. We try to capture all type of data. Yeah. All this data comes into the system, but somewhere we are not able to process the data. We are only able to process the data for the given time, because after a week, after 1 month, or after 2 months, we moved into some firefighting issues. So whatever the stay interview data could have happened, or the feedback which we could have got 6 months back or 8 months back, or we could have got enormously on real time, all of that data is lying, but we are not able to process it actually. So that is where AI comes into picture, and it starts giving a pattern actually. Because see, as an employee, we are not able to get a pattern out here. So we need AI which can fast track. See, if it is a small organization, I can see the pattern. If it is a data set which is able to manage, we can see a pattern. But if I'm going to have a multiple location, multiple thousands of employees, and every day I'm getting those feedbacks, I'm getting those data points, it is very important we utilize AI to see the pattern, what is coming out here. And based on that, we can do the sentiment analysis here. Based on that, we can start coming to know the employee mood here. Based on that, we can start coming to know the feedback patterns here. And it is very important that we should have a real-time dashboard there, because in most of the surveys which are happening, they are very good. The surveys are happening, etc. We get the feedback, etc. But it is very important that we tie those dashboards into the real time and make the data to go back into a HRMS system here, so that there is an integration happening. There is a real time, that is, you have an integrated data here. And very important thing is that AI is also being used to improve the wellness and communication, because AI starts giving a small nudge, because most of you all are using Microsoft Outlook, if I'm assuming, or Google. Microsoft has something called as Copilot now, which has come in. If you are using more than 8 hours, it starts giving you recommendation. Okay, you have stretched 8 hours, kindly take a break. Or if your meeting is running more than 90 minutes, it will say now you have to take a break. So those all small nudges. Now AI started giving us based on our calendar, based on our personality, based on the organization policy actually. And very important thing now, what is missing out is the burnout. See, we all know that employees stays long hours, employees work, employees do multiple projects, etc. But when we start seeing a data in front of us, and when AI starts seeing a pattern, it will start recognizing and saying out that there is a burnout pattern happening here. Then how do we do a preventive of it? Yeah. Then the other side where we can use AI is in real-time HR assistant, which we call it as a HR chatbot, or you can call it as a virtual HR help desk, or you call it as an onboarding assistant, or you call it as query resolution. See, now basically what is happening is all these data are there, the policies are there, etc. Yeah. Now, any person who is joining an organization, he's expecting an immediate response, he's expecting an immediate resolution, he's expecting an immediate help actually. Yeah. And that is why majority of the organization, they could have said, okay, onboarding, we will consolidate 5 people, 10 people, we will do it on Mondays, we will do it on Thursdays, we will do it on Wednesdays. Why? Because of the scale. They are not able to manage, or the bandwidth is a challenge. Now that is where the AI starts coming into picture actually. And that is how AI started now making a fast tracking into it. Now the chatbots are being used. Now what is happening is, one is we call it as a public data, and one we call it organization specific data, which we call it as a small LLM, and we call it as a micro LLM now in technology language here. Now, based on that, employee doesn't need to call and ask HR, okay, any policy related clarification. The chatbot or the virtual HR bot should be able to give the answer. Just like when we type something in ChatGPT, or we type something in any AI tool, Gemini, Claude, anywhere, it just catches those words and it frames and gives you. Now, same thing, the user can just say leave balance on August. That's all. Automatically, the HR chatbot or the virtual HR, based on the agentic AI, it will go scan his database, it will scan the HR policy, it will scan the location policy, it will see the geo where it is there. Is there a national holiday or a state holiday? Is there a flexi package part of it? And it will start recommending this is where you can start taking holiday if you are planning to make this trip in this particular month with your family. So all of that has now started happening actually. And also in onboarding, what is happening is AI has started helping in knowledge transfer here. Earlier, what used to happen is we used to have a candidate. The candidate used to give a knowledge transfer. That knowledge transfer then goes to the onboarding candidate here. This is for the existing project or existing work role here, not the new work role. And now here what happening is the AI has all that information. It has created into different work package. So it will plan out and say, day 1, first half, this is what you have to do. Day 2, first half, this is what you have to do. Day 3, first half, this is what you have to do. If you are stuck up here, ask me. That is how now personalized onboarding assistant is happening. Now, because of this, what is happening? Every organization are now able to hire at a scale actually. So onboarding can happen at a scale. Now, the other very interesting thing where AI is touching is into performance management. See, we all know what is PMS. We all know what is OKR, which is a phenomenal where we all do manually today, and we have a system which will track and do it here. Now, what is happening is all those continuous feedbacks are coming in, 360-degree analytics is there, data-led calibration is there, all of this is there. But then today somewhere we are missing is the prediction actually. Because every organization based on maturity, we do a continuous feedback, or we may have a 360-degree feedback. We may have a dedicated, very unique PMS for the organization, or some mature organization will be using OKRs. But all of this data has been collected. Everything has been collected, but we are not able to predict actually. And that is when now AI started coming, and based on all this data collection, it has started coming and predicting, and specific action can be taken place so that it can enhance that particular performance here. And that will be linked to the L&D where your personalized development can be taken care of. So that integration which was today happening in silos, or it's happening just in thing, now AI is fast tracking those things here. Now, another place where AI is going to play a very important role is in workforce planning here. See, every financial year, new financial year or new budgeting year, we start planning for the workforce here. So that, again, these all are standard traditional ways. We used to do a succession planning. We used to do a attrition prediction. We used to stimulate and say, okay, what will happen if this my high potential resource goes away, or my high potential couple of resources goes away. And also we used to do a revenue forecasting based on this revenue, based on this production, based on this business growth, what they're looking at. This is the resource forecasting I need here. Now, all of this used to happen. Now, only thing is AI is bringing a scale to it. AI is bringing a pattern to it. AI is making all the decisions based on the data driven actually. So, and based on the scenarios what are being there in the system here. That is where AI is making a difference actually. Now, road ahead, what is going to be the future of AI? There is going to be a co-pilot now. So every HR leader will have an AI decision support making. There will be plenty of autonomous operations which are going to happen. So where no human intervention is needed. There are going to be a transparent system where explainable AI is going to be there with the recommendation. And also there is going to be AI literacy where I can enhance the competency here. This is what I'm seeing in next 6 to 36 months, what the transformation is going to happen in each organization here. So key takeaway from my AI role in HR is going to be, one thing we have to understand, it is not a replacement. We are going to get triple benefit here. Because why? Speed, precision, and personalization. This is really the need of the hour. This is how the scale is going to happen here. So it's going to be a triple benefit here. Once again, I repeat, speed, precision, and personalization. Then third very important thing is ethical imperative, which is now becoming must for every public listed company. We are also a public listed company. ESG is becoming a very important role here. Wherever ESG is going to be there, this has to be there because we have to be transparent, we have to be inclusive, and we have to be fair actually. And that is where AI is now playing a major role here. And last but not important thing, our mind, our experience, our thing, and AI synergy, it's a win-win combination. 1 + 1 is equal to 21, not 11 actually. And this is the key takeaway. Now I'm going to break whatever I told you in high level. Now I'm going to go to each function, and we talk about now how AI is going to help that each function in a microwave here. So first, AI in talent acquisition and hiring here. So intelligent sourcing. See, today what happens is we have recruiters or we have agencies who goes and finds from what portals it comes and finds out actually. But I do not know how many of you all as a recruiter have used ChatGPT and said, I need one resource who's available today in Ahmedabad. It kindly suggests, give me names of 3 people who are there. You will not believe, you will get 3 names. I'm just giving you one example. Based on LinkedIn integration with ChatGPT, there are plenty of other AI tools available in the market. And if whoever is posting very frequently, who is posting certain SME related topic, and you ask them and say, out of this 10,000 candidate, who's probable, who's talked most about it, who has talked smartly about it, who has talked about these concepts, give me the 4 names here. AI will give you those 4 names in a matter of seconds here. That is where now intelligent sourcing is now coming into picture here. Then second very important thing is the automated screening here. Now there are plenty of algorithms are happening. See what is happening. Traditionally we used to have a ATS system. It used to be very fixed. It used to be done. ATS does based on that. The profile can be yes or no. Yeah. Now what AI is doing is it is something called as reinforced learning, or it will keep on relearning again and again. Yeah. So for example, I could have selected 5 profiles. Out of that, I have rejected 4 and only selected 1. Now AI will start understanding what was the reason those 4 profiles have been rejected actually. So next time when it runs the algorithm, those 4 profiles will not be picked up. It will enhance itself here. Or if I have selected 2 profiles, if a rejected profile, but I am selecting here, then AI will also start understanding why this rejected profile was rejected, but still the interview is taken for. What was those strengths which AI missed out here? So that is why we call it them as a reinforced algorithm actually. And very important thing which I articulated in my earlier slide was bias-free selection here. So based on all of this, all these data are there in Gartner, in IDC, in Foster, in every organization. AI has really changed the recruitment here. 75% time saving has happened if you use the right AI-powered recruitment tool here. I'll use the word again, the right AI-powered recruitment tool here. 93% screening efficiency has happened. And candidate is also very happy because his experience is also very clear, because he is also getting a transparency and real-time information status about his profile and a journey in interview in the processes actually. So that was one perspective from a recruitment perspective. Now, one very important thing is in the sourcing side here. Now we have plenty of digital platforms here. So every organization, based on their budget, we may have a Naukri.com, Times Job, we may have LinkedIn. Based on the budget, based on the bandwidth, we start doing the scanning here. So AI again helps out here. Yeah. Then very important thing, what is happening today as a recruiter is somewhere we are not able to identify a passive candidate here. Now AI can also help us in identifying a passive candidate and do a reverse engineering. Just like a concept where we say re-engineering or reverse engineering, management says, get me list of 20 candidates who best fit this role here. So we go and identify those 20 now, but they are not looking very active for the change in the market actually. Now what will be the strategy to get them on board? How do you start sending a communication to them on micro bytes so that they become attractive towards the organization, towards the job role what you are looking at, and plus also test out if they are really interested or not here. So that is why now AI has also started playing a role of how to identify those passive candidates who are not very active in the job market. But organization is looking for those type of profiles. This is what earlier a strategic recruitment firm used to do here. Then last but not least, how do I accelerate sourcing here? Because of the scale, because of the AI, because of the computing power, now the sourcing, if we have a right integration, if you have a right database, if you have a right access to it, the sourcing can be accelerated. It's not human dependent here. Now, from a resume screening perspective, we only need a perfect match. Then AI will also come out with its own ranking. And then now, because of AI and ML, we have NLP which comes into it, natural language processing, which will take the relevant information from that particular profile and it will build the hypothesis. And based on that hypothesis, it will make a presumption whether this profile should move to the next phase or not here. So this is one very important thing where AI started playing a role is NLP here. The first two, yes, ATS were there in the market. It is still doing a very good job, etc. But NLP has came and made a game changer actually here. Now, this is again a public statistic data, so I can share with you. AI and job matching. Manually, the efficiency used to be between 40 to 60% here. ATS 65 to 70%. AI matching is somewhere between 85 to 90% here. So, and candidates are most likely to succeed and stay longer. This is the data what the trend is showing here. Now comes in this whole process till the candidate doesn't get selected, there are specialized chatbots which are coming in where the candidate can ask the status. what is happening. See, today candidate after doing the interview, he is clueless. So what happens after 3 days? He calls the HR or he'll call the recruitment agency or he'll write an email. Yeah. Now, what is happening is the matured organization, they have moved into a chatbot for the candidate engagement. Yeah. So the candidate can ask anytime about it. And AI, based on the feedback, what it has been already collected, Excel will be sharing. This was your strength, this was your weaknesses, this is where it is lying in the hiring cycle, based on what we like to articulate out here. Now, because of this, what happens? The experience enhancement happens. He becomes a positive role champion for the organization when he talks to others outside here. Plus, also scheduling automation is happening. See, currently today, what is happening? Biggest challenge is happening as we all are part of HR function, and I get plenty of complaint. Okay, the SMEs are not able for interviews. SMEs got a firefighting issue, so they're not able to take the candidate interview, and we had to cancel it at the last moment here. Now, this is where schedule automation is also started happening without any human interference. Because as per my KPIs, if I have given right performance management, and I have said that in a day, 2 hours, you have to block for the hiring of the candidates, it becomes my KPI. The AI will go and block the 2 hours. They'll ask a preference, what do you want? Now, based on that, automatic scheduling will happen here. There will not be any interference. And if the rejection is happening, it will go to his manager, it will go to his L1, L2, L3, whatever hierarchy. This candidate interview was supposed to have, because of the reprioritization, this has done. So that even the management starts knowing what is the impact happening when a rescheduling happens, which today that data somehow is not reaching to the decision makers actually. Now comes very important thing is whether it is a face-to-face interview or whether it is going to happen through virtually through any platform. It is very important. Many organizations now have started doing a video interviewing actually. Even if I'm going to do a face-to-face interview, there is a because every interview room or every offices today has a CCTV camera available here. So all of that is getting captured now. Yeah. Now using that videos, how do I do my expression analysis here? It will start seeing his English, it will start seeing his non-verbal cues, it will be start seeing the micro expressions, what it was the genuine reaction or he was making it up, how was he reacting to each question, how was the speech pattern, based on the pattern, what was the confidence level, all of that now AI start able to tracking and giving out the insights actually. And based on those evaluation, now you can standardize and there'll be a Rubik score which will be coming out here, which is not biased actually. Because today when I do a manual scoring, I like to give 9, 7, 8 based on what I feel about I may get influenced by the appearance, I may get influenced by the location, I may get influenced by the school which he has studied, I may get influenced because he has dressed well. So all of that bias goes away and there will be a standardized evaluation now happening here. And as I lightly said, this is what it is. AI is going to lead to bias-free hiring actually. So what happens when AI starts screening all the profiles, when it happens, it removes the gender, it removes the age, it removes the ethnicity from all the applicants here. Before even it sends for the next step processing actually. So based on that, what happens, it is only just the merit based what the screening is going to happen, and we call it as a blind screening actually. Then based on the training data set, AI is being trained on diverse data sets, so that what happens, based that historical bias, what has happened in the system, it starts seeing that it doesn't happen again here. And it has to be always a skill-based decision making here. So there'll be if it is a technical decision, there may be certain technical analysis questions will be asked on the flow on the platform, based on how he's responding, the speed, the time, how much rework he has done, all of that, it will start giving a competency score actually. And that is how it starts doing a skill-based selection here. Then very important thing comes is DI focus AI recruitment here. See, DI is now playing a very important role actually. So from a diversity perspective, we need to have a more and more equal representation actually. Language optimization should be happening here, because what is happening is India is such a large country, and from every state we get a different language dialect which comes out. The same English can be written in a little bit different structured way based on from which state we are coming from here. Now all of that bias can be removed because AI will do a optimization and it will bring out a standard language here, what the candidate is trying to articulate here. And inclusion analytics will be there, so there is a transparency throughout the hiring funnel actually. And this will drive to the equal opportunity for everyone here. Now, again, in next place in automation in screening and shortlisting here. Now, I already told you intelligent shortlisting is possible using the AI ranks. We'll get a funnel how it is going to look like here. Assessment will be happening, and based on the assessment, based on the what questions we have asked, based on the answer what we are giving, the next question, the selection can be changed dynamically. It will start changing the what type of questions to be asked actually. And because of all of this, recruiters' workload will be optimized. So recruiters can be focused more on qualified candidates. See, I am not saying we have to replace the recruiters, correct? Now, based on this efficiency and scale, what now the profile which has come out, now recruiters focus only on those profiles, handhold them and move them to the hiring cycle actually. And a second very important thing is today, majority of the recruiters are also spending time in administrative work, where to filling the Excel sheet data or into some system, the reasons, the time, how much, all of that administrative work can also be taken away. So what is very important, we are looking how the takeaway is going to be. It has to be recruiter AI collaboration model actually. So there has to be a clear-cut demarcation in the HR department or in a HR function. What will be the AI responsibility? What will be the HR focus from a recruiter perspective here? So AI is going to do resume parsing, initial screening, candidate matching algorithm, scheduling and coordination, data collection and analysis, basic candidate communication. This again is not a thumb rule. This is just based on the guidance, what we have seen across and what I have also implemented in various organizations and my organization also here. So this is not like exactly that this is how it has to, it all again depends on the organization, what you all want to do. But it is very important that we have a RACI matrix. We call this as a RACI matrix actually here. So there has to be a RACI matrix. What AI will do, what recruiter will do here. And then the human recruiter will build the relationship with the top candidates. The key word here is top candidates. Currently, it is across everyone. Complex interview and assessment will be happening through human recruiters. Negotiation and closing through human recruiters. Employee brand representation will be through human recruiters. And strategic talent planning will be done through recruiters. So this is how we can start dividing the roles between the AI recruiter versus human recruiter here. And based on this, the AI has a high volume hiring, which I told you, and all of this is public data. And now this is where the prediction starts coming into picture here. So based on seeing the AI, based on seeing my recruitment team, AI can start predicting each recruiter's performance also, that recruiter A for this particular skill set, for this experience, for this particular location, he will be only able to handle 30%, 50%, 60% closure here, based on his historical information and based on his current information here. Now I will move into next part where AI can play a role is on AI in internal mobility and promotion here. So very important, we have to do a upskilling in recommendation. Promotion suggestion has to come in, role matching has to come in, and retention enhancement has to come in here. Now, what are the challenges typically we face? See, AI, I told you it has come. I told you AI is there, everything is there, it is all rosy, but there are plenty of challenges with it here. Because currently majority of the companies don't have a good data or the AI tool which they are using from a recruitment perspective. We do not know on what data it is being trained here. So one thing is there, because of the data what it has been trained, there is also there's a possibility there is a bias within it here. Second thing is transparency. Because AI makes all this algorithm based decision, it's a black box. So if someone ask us on what basis was this profile selected as top 5, so that we call it as a black box here, because we do not know on what basis. It's a little bit difficult till we don't get into the details actually. Second thing is there are certain legal compliance in certain geography across the world. So we have to be careful how we use AI in the hiring process here. And fourth thing, very important, is ethical concern here, which is a very heated, debated topic today across the world. Is AI used ethically or unethically? How the AI was trained actually. So these are the current challenges which the world is facing, and we as an organization are facing, and we as a HR function are facing, if we are going to embrace AI. And how do we see that we remove these challenges slowly over a period of time here? So the key takeaway in this AI in talent acquisition was strategic partnership, It is very important. Recruiters become a true business advisors now. Yeah. Improve diversity because it becomes a data-driven decision. Yeah. And transformation happens because now there's a speed, scale, and a revolutionary happening in the hiring. Yeah. This is one function of HR where I touched upon talent. Yeah. Sourcing and talent acquisition. Now we move into the second key function within the HR, which is called as L&D. As I told you all earlier, personalized learning, strategic upskilling, performance tracking, and career acceleration. All of this has to be tightly linked with the L&D department here. So now, how is the future of L&D with AI here? As I told you earlier, traditional platforms are there. We have plenty of platforms are there. We can learn online, we can do offline, we can do all those adaptive learning platforms are there. But they need to be continuously has to be evolved with employee needs here. Because every employee now who's joining in has a different need actually here. So now we need to start having a intelligent based ecosystem here. Second thing, what is very important thing is hyper personalization. Everyone who's joining in now needs a very focused, hyper focused micro learning here, which is relevant for him to grow, for him to learn, for his role here. Third, very important thing is strategic alignment here. So whatever learning he is doing is not learning just because it is his hobby, but it is because of his KPI in the current role or in the future role. This is the KPI what we are going to give because of the strategic movement what we are going to do. It has to be aligned actually. Otherwise, what happens? The employee may learn something, but that whatever he has learned, if it's not going to be used in the current KPI in the current financial year or in the next subsequent financial in the new role, then that learning demotivates the employee. Then very important thing is continuous learning culture has to be there here. This we all agree, but when we do a brick and mortar type of learning, it is very difficult to have this into a daily work here. So using AI, how do I give a 15 minutes bites, 15 minutes knowledgeable session, which happens. So there is a continuous learning what is happening, which is a curated learning, what is happening in the field of business, which they are working in the field of technology, which they are working in the field of business function, which they are working in. What are the new laws came in? What are the new drivers came in? What are the new processes came in? What is the new thought process going in here? So the continuous learning culture needs to be developed actually. This is how the L&D, every organization is now having a high level, and based on that, we have to do a micro level here. So how AI is going to do in a personalized learning path here? So it has to be a role-based customization here. So based on the current role, what he is going to do? There has to be a clear-cut gap expected versus gap, what he has to deliver. That gap is what is going to be the first learning thing here. Where how that gap is going to be filled in. So it has to be a role-based customization here. Second very important thing is there has to be an adaptive pathway. What does it mean? Adaptive pathway means there should not be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ऐसे karna hai. Because today's generation which is coming in, they may like to start in whichever way, because we have to call this as, just like how in technology we call it as a microservices, they call it as micro learning. Every pathway, every work packet has to be independent actually. So employee can start based on what work pathway he wants to do here. Not by determined by HR, not determined by L&D team, or not dependent by external facilitator who says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here are the 10 work packets, or here are the 10 lessons, or here are the 10 lessons planned, AI-driven lessons planned. Now you pick up which you want here. Each lesson plan has a key takeaway. Now, based on your least interest area or a high interest area, based on your least strength or high strength, you pick up because you are designing your own adaptive pathway here. Third very important thing is, as he is going to learn on this particular journey, AI is going to start seeing his learning style. Based on his learning style, AI will start having the data into its model for when this person A, Mihir, joins in. He is looking for it based on his learning style. This is how now I have to give him the work packets here. So that is how the learning style AI comes into each individual learning approach here. And fourth, very important is engagement optimization. Because of this personalized content, because you're allowing him to start from where, and the completion rate is high. And again, in personalized learning path, I'll give you one example. Just 3 weeks back, there were engineering students who joined us actually. And as traditionally, all the new GETs who join in, you have a learning program. you have a learning program here. Now, what we did little bit different. This time we used the AI-based learning program and did. There were out of 10, 3 were very good in concepts, so they were able to adopt very quickly. 7 were very weak in the concepts actually, and they were not able to even understand even if it was broken down. Then what we did is we asked them, okay, you tell us what is your high interest area. So one candidate told us cricket, one candidate told us traveling, one candidate told us he likes to read. Now what AI did was, if his interest was on cricket, that same concept, whatever it was there, it started explaining in the cricket terminology. For other candidate who said reading is his favorite thing, then it started taking a character in Harry Potter, it started taking a character in Ramayana, it started taking character from whatever novel he has said, and started explaining that concept here. Now what happened, the same 6 candidates who were not able to understand that, we saw that they were able to absorb it faster here. Now that is where we call it as a personalized learning platform, and AI can come in. See, because today all the platforms, what you have, it is a fixed content which is being given here. Now today but there is, if I put a type and I just give a parameter and write anything and say, this is how I want to learn, that is where AI comes into picture actually. So that is the biggest change, what is happening in the learning model actually. Now comes very interesting content recommendation here. See, we all see Netflix, we all see Amazon Prime, we all do e-commerce shopping, etc. Correct? Once you give your zoner, once you see a couple of movies, once you give a couple of your taste preference based on the persona, the husband, the wife, the children, the sister, the brother, whatever, you have various profiles. We do, everyone has a personalized recommended movie coming in, correct? Because of the recommendation algorithm engine here. So same way here, AI content recommendation starts coming in here. So it will start doing a micro learning focus here. So it will all have a bite size, because there is a scientifically proven that it only has to be in this certain bite size, then the retention is going to be higher. So AI will create only those bite size content. Once you click that, it goes to the next. And all of that bytes will have behind a scoring mechanism. And based on the scoring mechanism, it will start showing whether it is being aligned to the goal or not here. A real-time tracker will be happening here. What the individual career aspiration is happening or not here. And based on what course, micro-learning and course he has selected, and based on the role, the suggestions will start coming from AI here. And all of this, what is very important is a pattern will be generated and will come to know whether he's a fast learner, slow learner, he needs a hand holding, he needs a personalized attention, where his interest, that learning pattern analysis will start coming in here. So this is what we call it as an intelligent content recommendation from an L&D perspective here. Now comes very, very interesting thing, and this is where all the modern organization, matured organizations are moving in their L&D spaces, AI-powered learning experience platform here. Everyone wants to leverage AI, everyone wants to have a personalized development, but then we need to have a platform. And that platform has to be integrated. I can't outsource this platform learning to some third party outside, do a Coursera, do from there. But I need that experience also. I need that data that has to be integrated into my career planning. It has to be integrated into my goal setting. It has to be integrated. Then only I will be able to give a personalized learning experience actually. So that is where the organizations are now moving towards it. How to create a AI-powered learning experience platform here. Now, skill gap identification. Now what is happening is based on the skills, what he has seen today, traditionally HR does in every organization, 6 months, 3 months, or 12 months, or 2 years once. Every organization has a different way where we assess the skills and we put it in a skills matrix and load it into HRMS here. Now, how the skill matrix has come in, it could be a self-driven, and some supervisor or a manager or a tech lead could have validated and gave it, and then we say this is a skill matrix here. And updation will only happen later, once in a year, or once in 6 months, or once in 2 years here, or never happens in certain organization here. Now, role has changed. How do I identify the skill gap here? Whether he needs a project management, whether he needs a communication, whether he needs the technical skills, or whether he has to do a data analysis here. What is his current level? What is his required level? Now that is where AI starts giving a thing for each individual broken into the competency here. And again, this competency is defined based on the role here. So if he's a leader, then it will be a leadership level competency. If he's a project manager, it will be a project manager competency level. If it is a team lead, it will be based on that. If it is a business analyst, it will be based on that. If it is based on a procurement function, it will be like that. If it is from R&D, it will be like that. So all of that now identification is started happening here. Now what has happened because of all of this skill gap and because of L&D, L&D has two very important things. Why L&D department exists in our thing is because of upskilling and reskilling. These are the two biggest motive for the L&D department here. I have to do upskilling or I have to reskill. Now, so what is very important is how do we identify the skill identification? That's what I talked about earlier. And what is the industry trend saying? Because if I am working in this particular industry, this is what the trend is saying. What is the level of my employee? What is my bell curve saying? And what is my individual thing here? Then should I do a mass customization? How I do a progress monitoring? And how it's going to impact my business assessment here. So all of this has to be tied down actually. Otherwise, what happens? L&D is not able to show a tangible benefit here. See, today the biggest concern is when in my earlier organization or 5 years, 7 years back, I used to go and ask for L&D budget actually. And we have to justify why that budget is there, 10 lakh, 1 crore, 50 lakhs, 2 lakh, 3 lakh. Before you start, I think there'll be L&D budget here. And based on that, we will recommend and say, here are the 6 things we are going to do. Why? Because this was the ask from the managers, this was the ask from the employees, and the cost has come out and we have selected this what will be useful because this is what it is saying here. But by doing this, what is going to be the impact? We don't have a tangible because there was no tool available because of the skill improvement happened or because of the skill enhancement happened, his productivity increased or not. Because the very important thing in L&D, why we are doing all of this is efficiency and productivity. Now today, majority of the organizations are struggling to measure the productivity and efficiency here. Because before L&D, what was his efficiency and productivity? We don't have a data. After doing L&D, what was his efficiency and productivity? We don't have data. So we are not able to show the tangible business benefit here. For example, if we have done a mass L&D for R&D department, just giving an example here, research and design department in a chemical industry or in a pharma industry or anywhere. Earlier, they used to take 15 days to do a certain processes end to end. Now, after the L&D over a period of 6 months, that 15 days become 13 days. That means the 2 days has been gained actually. If the 2 days has been gained, multiplied with number of resources, multiplied with working hours, gives the tangible benefit what the organization has gained here. But we need to know how to measure it. We need a tool, we need a platform, we need a data, AI, or we need any system which is able to capture all of this here. And then it is very important, it has to be linked actually. See, today employees are coming and asking when will my performance happen? We will say September, October, or December or March based on the organization here. What is my rating? It will happen in the month of March or it may happen every month and we say. Now, matured organizations have started making it performance linked because OKRs are there, my PMS are very strategically tied down. So real time, he can start saying, okay, this was your variable component. This is how the organization is performing. And this is how is your personal thing, KPI, because now you're seeing real time 9%. So probability of 9% into your variable. This is what is your predicted variable, which you may get. Predicted variable, which today no one is able to say till they don't see the pay slip or they don't, or they see before 1 week before when informally we go and tell the high potential candidate, this is what you're going to get, this is what you're going to get. Are you happy or not? If you're not happy, let us know. We will do some little bit adjustment and we will do it here. Because why? We are not able to show them predictive variable, what he is going to earn as he's moving in his KPI linked journey actually. And that is where this alignment is now becoming very, very important because of the hybrid work culture, what is happening, the fast pace, what is happening, and the scale, what is needed. And it is very important that organizations are moving towards this direction. Now, it is very important when I do all of this, see, from who are a part of L&D department, there are plenty of global frameworks actually. I will not go into it because it is a domain of all the things. You have mastery.org, you have p21.org, and you have PESA. Now, all of these employees has to come from that certain things, and based on that mastery, there has to be a certain progression here. So when you build your AI, when I build my personalized learning thing, what are we expecting? We are expecting a skill-based resource. We are expecting a leader who's able to handle all the situation here. So it is very important how we use this adaptive learning, and it has to match with the organization objective and vision here. So this is where it becomes very important here. Mastery-based progression, interactive scenarios has to be there here, because see, as I told you, it cannot be a hard-coded, or it cannot be if-else. See, currently majority of the platform, what is happening is they are if-else. A hua to A batayenge to next ye hai. This is how it is next year. It has to be very interactive, where based on what the employee is asking, automatically my next work packet or the current work packet should be able to change. The scenario should be able to change here. And it is very important to do a individual learning content adjust, because see, if I'm going to not have AI, then it is very difficult for me to adjust my content to each individual actually. And very important is completion nudge here. And this is where the gamification and all of those things comes in, certain tidbits comes in, how do the reminder comes in, in what way we can force into it. We have to give those small nudges so that the employee is able to complete his learning assignment here. And last but not least, majority of you are here, we are mentors, we are coaches, we are giving consultancy to etc. So what is happening is there also predominant shift is happening now here. How do I match who's my right mentor or who's my right mentee? See, today we just say someone is interested in sales, so we say, okay, sales ko mentee ko sales ke mentor ke sath match karwa do. Okay, he wants Java, here's a Java SME, match karwa do. Or they are from this personality and this personality, match karwa do. Then learning communities, which Ramesh rightly talked about, the learning community is going to play a very big role. And managers insight. Now, all of this is very important when it comes into the thing here. Now, real-time learning feedback here. If you see any platform today, it is very important I start doing instant assessment here by doing small quizzes, by doing small knowledge check, or by giving small scenarios here. It is very important here. Second thing very important is the sentiment analysis here. What is the learner's reaction? Is he just doing for the sake because someone has put a knife on his neck and said you have to complete, then only I will give you promotion, or then only I'll give you hike, or then only I'll give you this particular new work? What is the learner's reaction here? Third, very important, engagement metrics here. Material what has been generated, is it matching with his high interest or not here? Fourth thing, very important thing is continuous improvement. Based on what the feedback is saying, can automatically AI modify the content, curated content which is allowed here? So those are the very important things, the feedback loop which needs to be taken care of. And as I told you earlier, gamification and engagement boosters are now becoming a big thing here. So if you could have seen in majority of the mobile apps or L&D app platform or anywhere, personalized challenges have been given here. So they can select what our favorite characters are needed, how the characters' abilities are there, what is the optimal challenge zone, how do they excite? If they achieve certain badges or they achieve certain points, how do you reward them? How do you recognize them across their peers, across the workforce, so that motivates them? Then very important thing is the social learning here. Have a leaderboard actually. What is the ranking happening? What is the team challenges? As a team, what they have done it. So there is a healthy competition also. How much peer interaction has happened? How much knowledge has been retained? And after they complete all of this, what is the incentive we are planning to give them here? So that motivates them here. So this is how the whole L&D now is, because why? Because Gen Z, which have started coming in, this is really driving from that perspective here. So that is again also from a HR L&D perspective, we have 3 generations actually. So L&D has to play a role, very careful role, how we take care of each generation who are there in the workforce actually. Because every generation has a impact actually, what we are trying to bring into the system actually. And last but not least, AI also plays a very important in leadership development here. Just like how we identify the various things, now all today leaders who are aspiring to be, or the leaders who are there in the succession planning or doing a shadowing, it is very important that they start seeing a pattern of it. How do I handle the risk? What is my listening capability? What is my speaking capability? What is my articulation capability? What is my engagement level when I'm talking on the floor? When I'm in a day, if I work 10 hours, what was my stress analysis? All of that is very important, and also has to come out with a personalized growth plan and micro pattern, even for the leaders actually. who are there in the critical positions here. And it's very important succession planning, how it happens for each leader actually. And this is again the statistics, how effective the AI learning, if you use it, happens here. Now, again, here also what happens is the compliance, and it becomes very important here. So we need to have a automated tracking, we need to have a verification system, we need to have a risk mitigation. We also need to have a smart reminders here. Now, I told you, but there are still challenges in L&D. See, one of the biggest challenges, what is happening is GDPR, which is also in India, it has been enacted by the, it has been tabled in the parliament, it has been approved, but still it has gone to the select committee. Once they approve it, it will become a formally. US already has it, US only California has it, rest of the states are trying to do it. Europe has already implemented GDPR. Now, what does that mean? If an employee leaves the organization, after 7 years or 5 years, based on each country, the compliance thing, that data has to be moved out from your model actually. That means the learning pattern, his preferences, his speed, anything related to that particular employee. Today, what happens in our learning data set in Excel or in our system, all that data is just lying like that here. Now, when AI starts giving all this recommendation, starts giving, because it is learning on the tailored data, correct? Now, the tailored data is based on the data which is there, plus the current employees who have performed, and that information has gone in actually. Correct. Now, this is true for every model which we spoke in all the function. So if that employee after he exits from the organization, based on the compliance, based on the legal criteria, after 5 or 7 or 9 or 3 years, that particular references has to be moved out from the model actually, because it is his privacy, the privacy of that individual person, because his bias, his decision making, his everything has come into the model actually. Second very important thing is data protection, because now because of AI has started seeing the strength and weaknesses, etc. The manager now knows exactly the strength and weaknesses. Earlier it never used to see the pattern here. Now, how do we guard that? How much should be visible to the manager? How much should not be visible to the manager here? That is where still checks and balances needs to be taken place. Third thing is recommendation bias here. Still, model is, how do we see that model gives the right recommendation bias here? Then digital literacy gaps are there. Because what is happening is every employee has a different way to the screen time, correct? And this is all screen driven. If you ask certain workforce, they are not comfortable to use the screen time learning method. They want a real classroom method. There are some employees who will say, we only prefer it in a screen time here. So that still, because they are not comfortable with all this new digital literacy which is coming in, what is this AI, what are the new technologies coming in, why this is coming in, etc. Correct? So that gap is still exists in various organizations, in various industry, across various cities here. And then very last but important thing is a human connection. So these are the challenges still we are going to face into it here. As we are going to implement AI in L&D department, and this is what between now and next 36 months or next 16 months, every organization are trying to evolve. How do I overcome these challenges here? Now, the role of L&D leader is very important now. Chief Learning Officer or a Chief Development Officer or a Chief HR Officer, he has to take a strategic direction actually. So he has to do guide the organization by how the learning transformation is going to happen here, how the cultural change is going to happen here. And very important, the content curation. This is the key word I'll keep on repeating because it is for everything. See, today content is available public and curated here. Public means we do not know whether it is right or wrong here. It is there in the public domain because it is gone, scrapped, collected, it is there here. Curated means someone has sat down, your have sat down, your SMEs have sat down, they have verified the content, they have signed the content. That is what we call it as a curated content. And this is what we started calling as curated SLM, small micro model. Okay. And that is where now majority of the companies have started focusing on it here, because that is what is the need of the hour. That is how it is going to go forward here. So from a key takeaway from a L&D perspective was, we need to have a hyper personalized learning work packet for each individual. adaptive content should be there. It should change based on what individual is asking actually. And very important thing is competitive advantage. It is going to create continuous skill development key to create, so the organization strength increases here. Now we move to the next function of HR here, which is employee engagement and experience here. Now, this is a very key thing because see, everyone doesn't know how. See, we all have a just like how we have a customer sat score, we also have an employee sat score, correct? Every organization does it annually, does it 6 months once, or does it 12 months once. Yeah, you will get a employee satisfaction score actually. Yeah. ESAT we call it as here. Now, what happens is there is a score, but how it is going to work together here. Now, what is very important is we have all this experience here. Now employee has various touch points in the organization here. So one is from a recruitment and onboarding. That is the first touch point here. Second touch point is that once he has onboarded, his day-to-day experience here, based on the project what he's been assigned, based on the business function which he has been assigned, based to which manager he has been assigned. Third thing is his development and growth within the organization. And a fourth very thing is he is separated. He is in the separation process, exit process, start or uska. Second thing is he has become an alumni here. We also need alumni to be a brand ambassador here. And this is what I call, there are many other paradigm you can fix here, but I have made this 4 buckets actually here. Because this is where your experience across all the employee, what you have to capture. And HR's very important role is how do I take care of my recruitment and onboarding experience? How do I take care of development and growth experience? How do I take care of my day-to-day experience of my employee? And finally, how my separation happens? Is it happening on bitter note, sweet note, whether it is happening in a good note? And after the separation has happened, how do I take care of my alumni if I want to pull back them, or they can refer someone, or they can become my brand ambassador and give business to the organization? Yeah. Because every alumni tomorrow is going to grow in some organization. Yeah. He is also going to become an influencer. He is also going to be a decision maker. So it is very important. How do I cater to all these experience actually? And that is where what happens, very important thing happens is sentiment analysis is now becoming a key word here. Now, how do I get sentiment analysis? See, currently what happens is we use a survey response and feedback, and we do one-to-one discussion, or we call 20 people in a group and ask, please raise your hands, are you happy or not? Or based on how they respond, that etc. Correct? Now, what AI has started doing, no, it will also start going through all the email communication patterns here, all your chats, emails, chats, whether you're using Skype, Teams, whether you're using Slack, whatever model we are using, correct? All type of collaboration platform here. Based your survey response, then your PMS comments, what comment you have written when your PMS, whether you're happy, not happy, etc. All your messaging tone, etc. All this information now AI can start analyzing, and it will tell that particular X resource is happy, not happy, or what is his thought process here at the given moment time, or what it was yesterday. That is very important here. And based on that, what happens is we can do a team, we'll come to know the team morals fluctuation, we'll come to know the early warning signs of disengagement, department specific issues we can come to know, positive engagement or trends also we can start coming to see, and also we'll start seeing managers and leaders effective indicators also here. Now, this is what today it is missing somehow here. Now, that is where AI is trying to bring a change, bring a tool, bring a platform. How can I start analyzing all of this and start giving this insight so the HR head or a HR coach or a HR can start playing based on this decision, start going and working with the management actually. Now, we need, so, and sometimes we always say HR is the, HR department is always the eyes and ears of the management. It is very true actually, because see, because that's the role of the HR, correct? We also need to understand what is happening in the organization, and we also need to consolidate that insight and present to the management here. So we also need listening tools at a scale here. So what we need is, we need a intelligence survey here. So we need a continuous feedback. We need NLP extracts, which goes and takes a deeper meaning, because survey में एक paragraph लिख दिया. अभी वो paragraph जो लिखा है, now we are given to some junior HR, please see what it means. Now junior HR doesn't understand that insight, then that paragraph is lost actually. If you have thousands of employees who has written some paragraph information, who's going to analyze that 1,000 paragraph and give you this is the trend or this is what everyone are talking about here? That is why it is very important to have NLP extracts. So it gives a deeper meaning from the response actually. That is number one. Number two, we also need to have an open text analysis here, which will go into all your unstructured comments which you have written in any collaborative platform, any messaging platform, anywhere where you're collaborated, etc. All those unstructured comments comes in and which can be converted into actionable insights actually. So that will give the another dimension to the data here. Third very important thing is real-time this sentiment analysis for each employee at a function level or at HOD level or at a head level, at manager level should be available here, because that will give them a trend, what is really happening here. And based on those insights, there has to be an automated action plan here. It cannot be that manager has to do here. So that is why we always say that AI should also start suggesting when the intervention should happen here. Based on the feedback, based on the response tracking, accountability and follow through, AI should start giving a recommended intervention actually. And this is where the predictive insights for the engagement happens. Now, in other way, how do I do engagement? One is we get all these insights, listening, and we get it. Second, very important thing is, a virtual assistance needs to be there in every organization here, which is that 24/7. You can't say, okay, we only work 8/7 no anymore here, because some employees go home and also they get a doubt here. They want to know what is the policy. They want to know what are the benefits, what are the procedures. And we can't say to them, next day you come, next day, Saturday, Sunday, come on Monday, we will explain. Or Monday, this person is in holiday, he's gone in vacation, he'll come after 3 days, then you come and ask him. Correct. So what they are looking is now 24/7 assistance is needed for any policies which is being published, which is public policies, which are benefits related to that particular department, that particular location. What are the procedures here? They like to have instant answers. They are not ready to wait for HR response here. Second thing is they also like to have a personalized guidance, which I told you, whether it's an onboarding or any workflow navigation is happening. So based on individual role, it should be able to give a personalized guidance here. Third very important thing is it enhances the services. So keep on asking self-service options here. Now majority of the organization have already started, like payslip generate ho jata hai. I am working in this particular organization from this date to date, letter automatically generate ho jata hai. What are small things, what is allowed, it should be able to do via self-services here. It doesn't need to come to the HR table or HR thing, and because of that delay happens here. So many of the good organizations have already started doing whatever is possible, which employees supposed to have. All of that services have happened here. Tax planning, what is the current tax, what he has submitted, what is the future tax, what is going to come in. Give him all the visibility of that. Anything what he feels, which is his data, start giving him that, and that is what they're looking at the service experience here. So it's very important that we start getting a smart feedback. Now, other one very important things in engagement comes in is the mental health here. If you see now, everyone has started talking about mental health here. Because now that is because of why this has started coming in is because there is now nothing called as working times actually. See, though prescribed time is 8.5 hours, we all know if you put your hand to the heart, we work more than 8.5 hours. We work more hours. Based on the work role, there are certain industries, certain job functions who have exception, who are only working 8.5 hours or less than it, but majority of the people today always are working more than that here. Now what is happening because of and they are doing multitasking here. So it is very important how we start mapping that to the health of that particular individual here. And that is where the pattern recognition comes into picture here. So AI algorithm starts identifying what is his body language, why he is demotivated, why today he is not in the same mood what he was in last Monday, why this Monday he is different, why his body style is like this, why his work pattern, and that will start giving a small insights, and that will come out with the signal to the burnout risk is there or not before the crisis can happen. Second thing, very important thing is based on individual needs and preference, because some people will say, I need this 2 hours me time for me, where I want to recollect what I am supposed to do for next week, or I need that 1 hour for me to do some personal work, whether it is my stock market, whether it is my grocery needs, whether it's my online certain things. Yeah, correct. Now, all of that dies down and AI starts recommending that and saying that this hour it will not give any email notification to them. It will stop any notification to come from his mobile, provided you are given a control of that app into your mobile here. So that particular becomes his me time where it is not. And if he says I have preference to yoga, then that AI will also start suggesting what simple type of yoga, what you have to do on each day. All of that has now started happening where personalized things have started coming to their mobile, to the laptop, to the desktop. And very important thing is safety is needed here, because what is happening is all of this is leading to plenty of stress management in the organization here. Because of stress, sometimes outburst happens here unintentionally here. Then how do we guard that? All of that is very key thing here. And that is why AI is also started playing a very important role here. Now that is at individual level here. Now at a macro level, at a floor level, at a unit level, at a factory level, at a location level, and at a SBU level, I have to see what is my cultural analytics saying here. What is my interaction analysis saying here? What is my cultural alignment saying here? And what is my DIE insight saying here? So today, we don't have a direct correlation of all of this because there's no data captured here. Now that is where we need to start seeing how we capture this data, have a right curated data. Based on that curated data, the model is built and that model gives the right insight and starts giving the analysis here. And that is what we call as a workplace cultural analysis here. Then this is how the journey should be there for any typical personalized employee experience journey should be there here. You give a personalized growth, AI crafted career development growth will be there. Then there'll be a customized reward based on the recognition benefits. And that should be a targeted communication based on what personalized growth, personalized reward. He should have a persona-based messaging going on to it here. So that will enhance his experience in the organization actually. Other very important thing, what is happening is recognition here. See, currently today we all give spot awards, we give quarterly recognition, we give R&R, we give everything, pat on the back, everything here. But that is what is the mechanism here? We go and ask someone, we say why, if someone gives us a certain justification or writes down, it should be. Now, what is majority of the scalable organization have started doing, matured organization started doing, data-driven spotlight has started happening here. Based on the OKRs, based on the PMS unique, based on the goals, based on the work packet completion, automatically this will be triggered. It will go to his next in line manager, it will go to the HR, it will go to the management, whatever workflow we have generated, and a spotlight of achievement is given here. And it doesn't need to wait for that particular given day here. A certificate will be generated automatically, it will email to be him, and whenever the HOD or the manager or is coming in, will take and present to them on the desk here. Peer recognition enhancement has already started happening here. So each colleague, how can you achieve each other's work, etc. This will become a stronger team bond here. Because see, there are certain activities happen where you have to work in a team. Front end and back end team have to work together to give a application, to give a support, to resolve a ticket. A domain business analyst has to help and to resolve a ticket. Certain function in every organization has to work together to give a output what is looking, which is the finished product which is coming in here. And a third thing recognition comes through is a gamification. It is very important. If you see any organization, if you take any organization today, which is called it as a millennium organization, next Gen Z organization, they already have started a gamified engagement for all employees actually. Now, what are the touch points in my thing here? So as we rightly said, we talked about all of this in my first slide before AI started. So AI enhanced onboarding has to be there. So there will be a personalized welcome, there'll be a setup process, etc. Everything it should be AI driven, so it is not people dependent actually, wherever the touch point needs here. Second thing is under development support, customized learning recommendation should come in here. Performance optimization, data driven coaching suggestion should happen here. Smart exit interview, it should be pattern recognized feedback collection should happen here. So all of these are different touch points where AI needs to gather this data based on the data what has been collected, and it should start evolving actually. And there are plenty of companies who have started using this and they have started seeing the recommendation. All of this they are published in the thing. See, Microsoft has also come out with another tool, Viva. I do not know how many of you are using Microsoft Office. Viva is also part of it here. So Viva is also a health wellness tool which Microsoft is saying here. So based on that, it will start giving you a sentiment and will try to tell you what is your work-life balance here. and how your team collaboration is happening also. It will also start giving you statistic. This week, you know what, you have sent 5 emails to this particular person. You have highly collaborated with him. To rest of the team who were there, you only have sent 1 email or there was a zero communication. All of that analytics are now started coming through Microsoft Viva, tightly integrated with your Microsoft Teams, Microsoft Outlook. Because of all of these insights coming in, this is a statistics proving that 67% now the response has become faster, trust has increased, and the impact to the ROI to the people initiative has increased to 3.8x. Now, as every function had a challenge, here also we have a challenge from an AI perspective here. How do we do a sentiment interpretation bias here? Because see, sentiment is very right, but sometimes what happens, every cultural, see, I have lived in North and also in South actually, correct? In South, I have been there for 27 years and also now I'm living in North also, correct? Now, every culture has a nuances. If I shake a head in North India means different. If I shake a head in South India means it's a different. If I do like this way, it is different. If my body language there is different. Not some body language from some state are very aggressive, some are very humble. So AI will still have a bias in the sentiment interpretation actually. Second very important thing is, which I told you all, is the Privacy Balancing Act has to be done here. Because how are we going to respect the personal boundaries here? Because now we have collected all the data, because there's some communication which has happened between two colleagues within the team, whether they have fought, whether they have done everything. Now all that insights is coming today. Because earlier those were there, but we never had time to go through it, because we never had so many people who can go through all the chat. Only if some mishappening has happened in the organization, then we go line by line what he has written in all the chat. Now AI, in a fraction of a second, it is going to give you all those insights here. So there is a plenty of Privacy Balancing Act challenge is going to be there. Sentiment interpretation bias is going to be there. And third, very important thing, what is driving this all today is technology fatigue is happening at faster rate now, because everywhere there is automation coming into picture. So there is a technology fatigue also now started coming into a workforce actually. That is why people are trying to take a personalized vacation. They are switching off from the workplace because the technology fatigue is increasing very high based on the type of the role, type of the work environment, and type of the industry we all are working towards it here. So again, here as the leaders who are going to play a role in AI engagement or customer experience engagement, we have to embrace AI as a people tool here. Interpret AI insights so that you can train the managers accordingly at the macro level and at the micro level here. And you have to build a human-centered culture. That is very important actually here. So key takeaway here from this AI engagement and experience was personalized experience is must today for every employee. Active listening. How active listening means not physical, but also using AI tools. How do I put across all the channels here? And based on that listening, how my predictive insights here. And then human and AI collaboration, how we make the experience better here. So this is the key takeaway from a customer, from an employee engagement experience perspective. Now comes to the next function, which every HR plays a role. Before start of the budgeting year, typically you do it in January to March before April, because you allocate the budget, and from April you start your hiring. You give targets to the recruitment team. You put your budget for your wellness. You put your budget for the employee engagement. You put budget for your L&D. You put budget for your events. You put your budget for HR branding. All of that comes in, and predictive analytics and workforce planning comes into picture here. So what is very important is that AI will also scan the metrics for business data analysis here. Why this is very important is because today some leader will come back and say, I need 10 people here. Now what is happening? HR is now becoming business enabler in many organizations here. They are not just a function. We use this jazzy word, HR is a business enabler. What does that mean? Business enabler means HR will work hand in hand with the business head of that particular unit here, or of that particular business function, or of that particular SBU here, where based on the business data analysis, jointly collaborative, they will come out. This is where our strategic plan, though we had planned for 12% growth, but we only achieved 8% growth. Then why do you need this headcount? Why do you, then we need to do a upskilling, or we need to do a reskilling, or we need to do a termination. All of that now decision should happen as a HR business enabler sitting and working together here. And how that will happen is only if you do a business data analysis here. And then second very important thing is headcount modeling here. What is the minimum headcount I needed to fulfill these business analysis needs here? And timeline to project based on my past historical, based on my current recruitment team, based on my current vendor, based on this skill set, what is my past till? Give me a timeline projection here. So all of that goes into your forecasting actually. And this is where at prediction model, there are various models which comes into picture: work-life balance, peer relationship, compensation gap, manager relationship, engagement decline. Now you will start getting prediction for, because see, when you're doing a workforce planning, it is also we have to predict for your attrition actually. Because I have to backfill those positions. It's not only I have to add a new headcount, but I also have to plan for filling my attrition also. See, that is one major line item majority of the organization misses away, or we just simply put 10%, 12%, 13%, what we like to showcase or what we like to hear actually. So it is very important, let AI start seeing all these data based on these various parameters, what we have written down: engagement decline, compensation gap, manager relationship, career stagnation, work-life balance, peer relationship. What is going to be my prediction? Attrition. Now, once this has been done, then comes in AI demand planning. Now I have to start doing the market trend here. What is the market trend saying about this particular skill set? Is there demand of this particular skill set as per the industry? Then I need to start doing a mapping of the functional requirement. Okay, for each of the skill set, how much specific talent we need, and what is going to be the hiring timeline, and what is the budget allocation I need, because all of this needs to go in. Then only I can go and demand for that particular budget actually. Now comes performance-based workforce strategy here. So as we already discussed this, correct, how I'm going to optimize, how I'm going to do a pattern recognition, all of this needs to come into picture here. Because when you do a predictive analytics and workforce analytics, it's very important also from a HR perspective, what is the cost optimization we bring to the table here? Because if you're going to say I'm a business enabler, HR, I'm a HBR, human business resource professional, that is what the term and certain titles all of us carry, then it is very important that we start showing and saying to them, this is the cost, current cost, how we can optimize here in engineering department, in sales department, in marketing department, in operation department. Because end of the day, people ownership is with HR actually. That is why people analytics, workforce analytics here. And these inputs goes to the business. Jointly collaborative with the business, we start taking how to optimize the workforce planning here. Then other very important thing when you are doing all this workforce analytics is coming in skill inventory. So real-time skill inventory is very much needed. As and as this learning curve is happening now, AI will start recommending his skills, soft skills, technical skills, people management skills, project management skills, leadership management, based on the quiz, based on the scenarios, based on how he has done the work packet, etc. Then based on the future need mapping, and now also as we are doing a future goals, we are doing a future strategic planning, what this mapping is going to look like here. And then also we will start seeing that create a marketplace. How do a mobility of internal mobility of resources can happen if there is a match happening here? And what is it going to be impact in the current work if he's moved from one department to another department or from one role to another role here? So all of this now needs to be done. And then diversity and inclusion planning, as we talked about it. So here there are two big metrics which we need to do: inclusion measurement and representation analytics here. So when I do a workforce planning analytics, these are two measurement which any board will like to see, or any CEO will like to see. What is going to be my inclusion measurement here? And then how can AI help me with scenario planning? Because business says I am going to grow 35%. Then what is my projected headcount? If business says, okay, I'm going to grow by 20%, then what is that projected? And they will say, these are my critical roles. This is a risk factor. Then we have to do a what if analysis scenario and see what is the projected headcount. Then there will be sometimes a transformation scenario here. Current skill set, we need to upskill. Then what is the gap there? What are the focus area going to be there? And what is going to be the risk actually here? Then market contraction. What is happening is there is also happening, there are certain skill sets not available. One classic example one of our friend gave before we in the networking was Hyderabad is not having a certain skill. There is a contraction has happened for that particular skill. Then what we have to do here? What is that going to be my revised target here? What is going to be my efficiency here? then what are the roles I need to be protected here? Because if that is going to go away, because I know there's a crunch happening, then what are those protected roles here? And as a HR leader, I need a real-time workforce metrics. I need a prescriptive recommendation. See, there are many data analytics terminology. We know what is MIS, we know what is KPI, then KPI-based automation, then came predictive analytics, and now there is something called prescriptive analytics here. So predictive means I'm only predicting, but now what they're saying is you also predict and also implement the solution directly. The AI will implement the solution. How? Based on what that leader could have done. If this problem has happened, this leader had done step A, step B, step C, AI will go ahead and do that step. Or based on what the market trend is saying, AI will recommend that step. And it will go, and if required, it will go to approval, or it may directly get implemented here. So that is what is called prescriptive recommendation actually. Then early warning alerts and mobile optimized view, because majority of the leaders are always on the move. They like to see in their mobile or in their tab here. So these are the dashboards, how AI-based dashboards are really must for any leader here. So again, reclubbing global workforce planning, you need a regional demand mapping, you need a local talent ecosystem assessment, regulatory compliance tracking needs to happen, cross-border collaboration enhancement needs to happen. Because this is another terminology. We spoke about workforce planning, that was for local India. Then there are companies who are working for global workforce planning. Then accordingly, we need to do these are the symptoms actually. And AI is there in all of these places actually. Now, because of all of this use, data governance in predictive HR becomes very, very critical actually. So we have to see whether we are having an ethical use of it. We are using right data security, model fairness is there, regulatory compliance for that particular region, that particular state, that particular country is matched. As challenges were there, all of it, you're going to have challenges here also, because there is one biggest challenge. What we see always in workforce planning is data quality issue. There is no incomplete data today across the department. Skill gap is still not being built. We have everything, but still we are not able to get the right skill gap into the system actually. And for that, we are not able to build analytics capability in HR team for identifying the skill gap actually. Then third thing is integrating all the systems together here. And algorithm bias is going to be always everywhere here. So how do we look into the future outlook for predictive HRS? We are going to have a hyper personalized talent strategy. So there has to be a hyper focused personalized talent strategy for each persona actually. Dynamic workflows modeling should happen here. Cognitive workforce advisor has to be there. So AI assistants will be created, which will be guiding the HR decision with the contextual intelligence, which is going to come into the picture here. That is where the future between next 6 months to 36 months, how predictive HR is going to shape the HR function here. What are the key takeaways? Strategic partner evaluation, workforce optimization, human plus AI collaboration, measurable business impact is going to be there. Now I'll go to the last part of my presentation. See, I spoke of almost about everywhere where AI can play a role, etc., everything. But with that also comes challenges and ethical, what as a HR department, HR leader, what we have to take a call here. So first thing is very important thing is the responsibility, fairness, transparency, and compliance here. Because HR deals with people, livelihood, and career. We have careers. We have to be very careful. What are the AI decision having on the real human impact it is going to have here? Fairness. AI system should be that it should ensure equal opportunity here. Transparency should be that the employee should be able to understand how AI is going to impact them. If I'm going to have a AI-based rating, AI-based performance feedback, etc., black box decision, they should at least be aware of it, how that decision is going to be taken. And last but not least, compliance here. Regulatory frameworks are now started coming in every country. India is also working towards a regulatory framework here. Very soon it will be mandated and endorsed. Organization must always stay ahead of that actually here. So what is very important here? Now I kept on saying AI biased from my first slide till earlier slide here. So it is very important in data collection here. See, when we are collecting the data is based on the historical information what you have, and that time you could have feed the data based on the constraints in the society here. So now the data what you are transferring from the system to AI model will have that society bias into it here. Second thing is the algorithm design here. Now, when the algorithm has been designed, are we keeping on modifying our algorithm on need basis on every drivers and environment what is coming in here? The third very important thing is implementation, the deployment of these models here. And fourth thing is ongoing use. See, what is happening is here, we use a tool, but no one is seeing the accuracy and efficiency of the prediction of that model here, whether it is 73%, 72%. Last week it was 71%, then it became 69%. That means 2% it has decreased. Then there has to be some correctiveness should come in here, correct? So we have to keep on monitoring it here. So all of this we need to understand when we are going into AI bias here. What type of biases are there here? You have a data bias because it is already there in the data. So we call it as a data bias. Then we have algorithm bias because based on who has created that model, what type of variable he has taken, what type of proxies he has protected certain people, and what type of optimization target he has taken, whether he has taken 30%, 50%, 10%, and fairness constraint, whether it has gone to the model or not here. So that we call it as an algorithm bias actually. And the third very important thing is the human bias here. Because we get this information, we design it in such a way, and we conform and implement it here. So these three biases are always going to be there in the system here. Now, there were certain, these all are public case studies. I just like to highlight to you, Amazon is such a major thing. They have their own algorithm, they have their own thing. But once their algorithm went wrong, they were able to correct it actually here. So yeah, they did once the hiring algorithm took it out, and they were penalized terms like women graduates from women college due to male dominated historical data actually. Correct. Now, because of that thing, their hiring was always only recommending male gender profiles which were coming out from the screening perspective here. That project was scrapped immediately after discovery, the whole thing, but it got implemented, and when the outcomes started coming in, they saw this algorithm was a challenge actually. This was in the initial days here. Then there was second thing was a facial recognition for one of the organization. Okay. Major system showed an error rate of 34% for darker skinned female versus a lighter skinned male here. Because again, the bias had gone into the model there here. Okay. Because of this, what happened that it was verification was not, because the majority of the organization were having a facial recognition, correct? And also video analytics based on the facial thing here. Now again, bias went. Because of that, there were certain legal challenges, because then the Pacific Resource who got fired or could have got not a good rating, they had put a legal cases in that organization. And the content moderation bias here. So AI flags certain dialects and cultural specific which were inappropriate here. And how to as a community then we take care of it here. So all of that case studies were there where AI also has went wrong also. It has gone right also, it has gone wrong also. But what one good thing is wherever it has gone wrong, how do we take that lessons learned? And we see that doesn't happen in our organization or in a going forward doesn't happen here. Then ensuring fairness in AI model here. So what is very important first is the training data, what we are giving to the model. Every organization has to give a training data. It has to have a diverse training data in the model. If it is not having a diverse training data model, HR has to raise a red flag and say this training data is biased here. So what our model is going to predict or give, it is going to get a biased decision making here. Fairness metrics has to be there. Regular auditing also has to be there for the data here. And human oversight has to always be there so that fairness in AI model is always in check actually here. Now, these are few of the compliances everywhere across. If you are working for global, as I told you, in India, it has been put into the parliament. Once it gets regularized, it will come into it. European Union already are following GDPR. So it is very important any automated decision happens that employee should know the explanation of it here as per the GDPR compliance law here. CCPA, CPRA, which I told you, California already, only the California state in US has only implemented. They are hoping that in next 6 months, all the states are going to follow it. Disclosure of AI, if you're going to use it, any decision making, hiring, promotion, increment, then it has to be given to every employee as per the California rule actually. So they should know where AI is going to be used here in decision making here. Then European Union, you have an AI Act where risk-based approach to AI regulation has already been framed actually. So European Union is far ahead. It has taken care that all this AI driven doesn't impact human impact as much as least here. Canada has come out with PIP, EDA compliance. There has to be accountability. If algorithm due to some reason has given a wrong judgment or has given not the right prediction, then there has to be accountability in the system actually. And Brazil has come out with LGPD, transparency in automated processing here. So these are the compliance and regulation currently there matured, which has been implemented. So any workforce, if we have, or any business operation we have, HR has to be cognizant of particular thing here. In India, it is going to happen near soon once it gets enacted here. Now, as a HR, it's not an IT responsibility because data of employee is also HR responsible actually. Of course, IT implements it here. So, but HR has to play a very important role to see that data is in a secured storage here. It is encrypted with a strict access control here. Ethical collection of data. Before any onboarding happens, now every good organization has started getting a consent that all your chats, all your screenshots, all your emails are going to get monitored, all because of it's going into the model. Get all this consent signed up during the onboarding, or if it has been done after onboarded, revise and send it across and get it signed when the new role is going to new role, or when you're doing a mass signature here. And transparent usage. So HR has to see that all these AI application usage are very transparent, and it is being highlighted in the HR policies here. There's a separate each use cases each for each HR application here, AI application here. And also we need to see for responsible for retention here. Because of all of this, data minimization and appropriate deletion policy has to be in place here. So all of this is very important from a data governance perspective, where HR plays a role from a strategy and a business requirement perspective, and then the technical or IT team implements this here. Now comes very interesting thing. This is where big debate is happening, where I also in plenty of my conferences where I am a speaker or a panelist, AI and workplace surveillance here. Where do we draw a line actually? Because see, today every organization wants to know cafeteria में कितने लोग spend time कर रहे हैं, कितने लोग TT खेल रहे हैं, कितने लोग cricket खेल रहे हैं, कितने लोग are walking down during the break. Now, where do we draw the line of privacy here? It's becoming very, very difficult now here. What should be used for business? What should be used not against the employee here? How do we do a trade-off here? So that is a big challenge across the world everyone are facing. There is nothing called as a right or wrong answer at the moment. So these are things till the clear boundary is not going to come in. It is a gray area at the moment here. So productivity insight, privacy line, and evasive surveillance now is becoming a big talking point across the organization, across the globe, across each country here. Because I will ask, because a very interesting thing, just 15 days back, I was in another panel in the World HR Congress in Mumbai. What very interesting came in, his shift is only 8.5 hours. He has not gone out of the campus here. He left his desktop, he left his workplace center and etc. But he's still within the campus, but it is his off duty, but he's enjoying the ambience of the organization here. It is off duty. He can be gym, he can be sitting in some bench and gazing the star, etc. Should that offline surveillance happen of him? And should the data be recorded? And should the data also go to the AI model? This was very interesting, and it is a gray area. No one has a right or wrong answer because there is no framework for it at the moment here. So these are things as a HR, we need to take a call where we should, and these are typical challenges we are going to face. And over a period of time, till the law is not enacted, till the certain court ruling is not going to come out, these all are going to be a gray area of ambiguity. But I am seeing the trend, seeing the way the focus is happening within next 18 months or 36 months, I'm seeing where all of this are going to have a proper boundary framework. Of course, there will again be a new gray area, but all the known gray areas will start having a proper boundary lines here. Now, how do we mitigate all these risks actually? That is why all the organization under the HR guidance, under the HR department, they started establishing an ethics committee here, which will be a cross-functional team, includes technical, legal, HR, business, all representatives. They'll be the ethics committee. Take a call what is ethic and unethical till a law has not been enacted here for the organization here. They will develop the AI policies here. They will implement and do the impact assessment here and a continuous monitoring here. The framework at high level HR AI framework will be human-centric design. AI serves for people, not reverse. Fairness and non-discriminational, equal treatment across all group, transparency and explainability of each automated decision making, privacy and data protection, accountability and oversight here. Now, because of all of this, HR team and HR function also has to go to the training to understand what is AI ethics actually here. So AI literacy fundamental is a basic thing which every HR resource has to go through it here. Because if you are not having a AI literacy, we will not be able to take and whatever we have spoken about from the first slide till the prior slide, we will not be able to. So HR team is also has to embark on the learning journey of AI actually. So first is the literacy fundamentals has to be in place. Second thing is ethical decision framework. It has to teach everyone to how AI is evaluating actually here. And based on that, what are the potential risks and biases here? Then there are plenty of real world case scenario available across in the public domain. Take all those case studies, see where ethical principles were applied, how critical thinking was applied, and how we can make better our HR policies, our HR ethic committee here. And there has to be a continuous learning process here. And last but not least, we have to partner with right ethical vendors actually, because we have to do a proper due diligence, ask the hard question, document review should happen, and a partnership. Why I had this particular slide is because majority of the organization, when I am talking or when we are discussing or when we are doing networking, one message came out: no one has a right ethical AI committee at the moment, or they do not know how to start, where to start, or how to implement here. So that is where they have started looking at vendors who can help them in this direction here. Now, when they have started looking at the vendors, it is very important that whatever ethical guidelines we had, that same thing has to be incorporated into the vendor here. Otherwise, that partnership will not work out here. That's the reason why I just wanted to put this particular slide actually here. And it is very important to partner with the ethical vendors here. And last but not least, this is the role of the HR. Keep on building the trust with the employees here. Transparent communication, meaningful consent as and as they join, whether it's in a mobile app, whether it is in a digital platform, start showing that, okay, AI is being introduced here. So please give your concurrence, feedback mechanism. So they also aware what should be talked, what should not be talked, what is all the things, what are going to be captured, how the AI is going to judgmental. So they also very clear, because now what is happening in certain organization, they have also started allowing that your social media profile will also be linked into HR here. So they also want to know as a leader, as a manager, what is the type of comment, what is the type of character, what is the type of your personality outside the organization. Just like typical now how US has also started doing it for green card processing. They have made it mandate all the profiles. So now, but before doing that, we need to get a consent actually here. Why I'm saying it's a thin gray line, but as and as AI is coming into our life, because of its scale, because of its processing power, because of its computing power, more and more data is now coming to the system. We see earlier we never used to have anyone go and monitor a social media, but because now AI is capable, because now AI is able to capable and gather all that information, give me in fraction of second, now that is becoming a must here. So that is how the change is happening here. So it is very important to get this consent, feedback mechanism, and emerging trends now what are happening. So all these emerging trends which are happening based on which country we are working on, which country we have the business and which country we have the employee, and what is the role of each HR, we need to see what is the AI regulation in each of these countries here. So key takeaway, again, fairness first, transparency build trust, governance is essential, and human partnership is must here. With this, I will just close my presentation. I just tried to cover whatever is possible. It is a huge 5-day workshop, what it needs to be done. But I tried my best to give you synergies of how AI is now changing every function of HR actually. I'll not say almost all the function of HR now AI is embraced actually. And it is very important how we start embracing it and improving our workplace, our HR function with the constraints what it is bringing to the table here. So I'm open to any questions or any feedback or anything else you like to ask me. Yeah.
It's excellent.
Ramesh and Kritika, over to you guys to conduct the Q&A. I'm ready to here to take over the questions, if anything, or any other generic. What are your last? There's nothing. I feel every question is a good question here.
So anybody who wants to ask a question can go ahead and ask. As
It's a very good presentation, lot of learning. Just want to check because of the rapidity of the presentation, probably we couldn't really even glance all the slides and there was some very nuances in the points. Is it possible to share the presentation?
Maybe a little bit difficult, but I'll try to see what I can share. I will share to you all surely. Yeah.
Please do, please do. Thank you.
Hope you understand my perspective. Please don't take me wrong. Yeah.
No, I understand that there's a lot of effort that has gone in, and it should not be simply circulated outside. But then what we want is that even the notes are okay, need not be the slides.
Notes I will share across. Yeah, notes I will share to you.
Notes should be okay.
Because what is good thing is that I think so AI could have recorded also this call, and you will get the insights automatically about from this call. Yeah, this is the beauty of AI. Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I just wanted to another question. Of course, this we have looked at the AI deployment in say in HR practices or HR policy kind of things. I'm sure similarly it is applicable to marketing, finance, and operations and those kind of things as well.
Very true, very true. AI is applicable in all the business function actually, AB. Everywhere, yeah. Because see, as I told you, since I have also sales, marketing, almost every, because when you're chief business officer or chief revenue officer, all the functions reports to you, correct?
Right.
So AI is applicable everywhere, but only thing is it's in a different nuances here. The reason why I took AI in HR very particularly, I was very interested to share here is because HR is very close to my heart, and I'm a very people guy and people officer guy. And what is happening is I have seen in majority of the organization HR taking a back step in AI actually. The sales marketing has already taken a very forefront in AI implementation in their business function. R&D department has also taken up a very thing, but what I was seeing when I'm talking, I'm giving a generic statement. What I've seen predominantly is that somewhere we as a HR community are still hesitant to use AI 100% within all the function. Yeah. Is it because we are because of the mindset? Is it because of the employee adaptability, or is it because of the change management, or because we are not confident? I do not know, but this is a feeling when I'm talking, and that is the reason I wanted to really emphasize. This is going to, if HR as a community we embrace AI, it is going to make our work more easier, more smarter, more efficient, and we'll be able to grow faster with what the organization and what the business and the industry is looking at us here.
Now, the various tools that are available, for instance, could be ChatGPT, Perplexity, or Gemini kind of things. Each one of them will have some very special features where you would find in a particular domain it may be more dominant or relevant. Now, is it possible to know that, okay, how different is Perplexity compared to ChatGPT or Gemini kind of thing? Which is better for us to use in which functional domains?
See, Eddie, first you all need to understand those whatever names you said, no, they are generative AI tools. Okay, generative means they are generating the content, they are generating the PPT, they are generating the policy. They are not AI systems actually.
Okay.
That's different actually. Okay, they are generative. Generative means I'm asking something, they are giving me out something.
Right.
That is generative. Yeah. Now, what we are talking about here is I can't use a generative to do a PMS, correct? I can't do a generative to do L&D, correct? We need
Okay,
to,
okay.
so there are two things. There are plenty of HR tools available in the market who are moving in that direction for each of it where they try to do it. Or the companies, based on their budget, they build their own AI data model in Python or R language to implement this AB. But what examples you gave of all of those, they are, according to me, they are generative AI. That means I can ask them, okay, tell me what are the 10 good policies I should take it up. They will give you suggestion. But they don't have a data of your historical data, correct? So what
Agree,
you
agree.
do is you have to pick up your organization historical data, then your IT team has to create an API interface with ChatGPT, use a private database that is only your data. It should not go to the public cloud because it's sensitive and related to your information, your company. Now you use generative AI and you say, okay, give me answer only from my private database. Yes, that is what we call it as a curated database here.
Okay, okay,
And it is possible here.
okay. Thanks, sir. Thanks a lot for this clarification. I appreciate it.
That's a great session, Mihir. You covered a lot of things, right from, the way it can be used to the risk and, like what we in HR people should do, something which I talk to HR and, the business leaders in my daily work. So my question here, to answer one of your questions, what you asked, why there is low adoption of this. See, AI is nothing but another level of digitization where we want systems to think and answer us, right? Now, majority of the HR functions still are struggling with the first layer of getting the right data into the system. Without the right data into the system, the decisions are definitely going to be wrong, right? So
Agree.
without that, adoption of AI will be little bit slower with HR, I would say. Though, a lot of people are adopting in terms of screening and, the interviews and things like that. But yet again, I am also in a, my everyday job is to research them, right? Like the case study is what we talk about, how the algorithm is, defining itself, giving its decisions, right? So that's something which HR today has to get that analytical bent of mind. That's a competency that today's HR have to acquire still, right?
Correct.
So there are certain gaps that we as in this profession need to fill it up, being tech driven and being business metric driven, and at the same time our bosses supporting us with the budget, right?
Correct.
Now all these AI tools does come with a cost. Now, as
Correct.
you said, the chat GPT or these generic public, when we are using these APIs, like we need to have a competent team to have the data privacy and or build our own AI engine. So there's a lot that the organization should also move towards the
Correct. Correct.
adoption of this, not just the HR. And the last thing, right? Though I'm definitely the privacy part of the employees. How much is being monitored, right? Now, as HRs, I think we should start declaring it from the point of transparency. Look, what we are monitoring and for what reason.
Agreed. And Kumunda, whatever you said is true. See, there's no question about it. That's the reason in my slide they were as the challenges, correct? Now, but if you have to be, see, we all are HR community here, correct? Few of us are thought leaders, few of us are a game changer, few of us are aspiring to be there, yeah, correct? Now, that is where we need to move the needle actually. Yeah. We have to move the needle as the leaders actually, correct? Because see, today, business, first we have to take a call. How do we become from a cost centric to HR business enabler? That is the first mindset shift has to happen here because still majority of the organization HR is treated as a cost center here. How do I first differentiate from a cost center to HR is becoming a business enabler here? That is the first mindset what we as a HR in each organization has to fight and change that here. That will come with how you show the tangible benefit. Second question, what you rightly said is every organization today is struggling with data collection here. Why? Because first, we as the HR should know what is the right system. What is the right information I want to capture? What are the information I need? I need in a certain way of analytics here. That if we are not able to articulate it and ask out, then people are going to give us what they have or what they have developed or what they have. We have to live with it here. So again, that is where I always say the word is everyone is right, no one is wrong here, correct? But somewhere we need to start changing ourselves how do we increase our knowledge in this and do a gradual small droplets of water into one thing. As you rightly said, recruitment very easy because people started using it. And you were right, because that is where the mass adoption is happening here. Because everyone wants resources quickly. No one doesn't want to pay to the vendor too much because that's a direct cost to it. And the recruiter's cost here, because 8% or 7.5% is the direct cost. So everyone knows that if I use AI, it is cheaper. So the ROI comes in here. Now for the rest of it, that is where we need to do a change management, take up each function actually. And a good thing, Kumada, is now what is happening is, okay, I'm not saying all the businesses, the younger generation which is coming and taking over the business is totally in a different mindset actually. Now, and the way use cases are happening, etc., they have started embracing. See, earlier people were still not ready to move to the cloud actually. 99% company used to say no actually. Now it has come down to 60%. 60% still are saying no, but improvement from 99% to 60%, that means 38% are embraced it actually. That 38% in India scale, it's a huge volume here. Correct. So here also what you're saying is true, and that is the reason I put that point. HR is where I am seeing as a laggerhead, how we as a community slowly start moving in that direction here. I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight, but we will be forced to move this direction here. And mark my words, I am going to see a very quickly a new role coming in, which is going to be AI specific within HR function. So it is up to us how quickly we take, because see, I'll give you a classic example. Just 2 years back, this is in public domain, I can share. Godrej Consumer, okay, their workforce is predominantly 69% Gen Z. 69%. Now, their traditional HR policy will not work. Because the Gen Z who are coming in, they are pushing for the change actually. So what is going to happen as an organization, new employees who are going to onboard, new things are going to come in, the push is going to happen to the organization here. That is one way here. Second way is, we as the ownership from a leader perspective, if we have that accountability and if we are able to convince our management, convince our HOD, as you rightly said, why? Then can make a case. But biggest thing why we are convinced is because today as a HR function, even I struggled, we are not able to find the exact productivity, delta productivity improvement here, delta efficiency improvement here. See, if today if a HR as a fraternity, we can say that, you know what, after this all 0.01% productivity has increased, and that is what is tangible. Discussion is separate thing. But since we don't have the data, we don't have anything, so it is all in intangible way what we are putting it across here.
Agreed, very much, Mihir. Very much on that point. It's simple, like I'll give you one simple example. We shifted post-COVID complete remote. Now we want to bring people back. So there is no data that can say, okay, look, before COVID, the productivity was high, and if we get back the people, productivity will be more, right? So it all get back to that for business.
No, very true, very true. No, but it is a very interesting challenge to have, and mark my words, you will be seeing more and more HR function picking this up, because 18 months back, no one were ready to talk about AI. And because of the high cost implementation, because of high cost acquisition, and because of high cost of the models, people were not ready here. Now, as things are moving across, there is going to be a faster adoption which is going to happen here. Now, the faster adoption is going to disrupt the certain business function actually. So it is very important we upskill the HR team, and HR department itself should be first upskilled so that we are ready for this disruption actually.
I very well agree with you. And another thing probably the industry requires today is, see, when we are fighting the day-to-day firefighting and planning for tomorrow, in all this, adoption of this kind of a massive technology, in whatever sense it is, requires a different role to analyze what and where we should be bringing these systems. What is the budget, like you said, the budget allocations, right? And when do we and how do we plan and implement with respect to all the DPRR acts and whatever we have in India as well. So it's different role that the company should also embrace.
Correct.
And take a step ahead there.
And this is all the companies, what I'm seeing is who are moving with OKRs now, they are the first to embrace this. I'm just giving you a hint. So if you see, there is a predominant mindset which has happened from PMS, regular monitoring to PMS. Now there are certain matured companies who are moving to OKRs here. Now, whoever are moving to OKRs, now they are ready to transform quickly here because they have gone to buckets actually. Because first is we need to know how to allocate work, you need to know how to do goal setting, you need to know how to monitor, you need to capture the data, then AI can play a role, correct? So that what
It again gets back to your first principles of job evaluation, competency, and then bring that data there and then do analysis
correct.
on top
So
of
what
it.
I'm saying is all the companies, I'm just saying, I'm not saying they are right, but whichever companies are going in OKR way, they are embracing AI a little bit in a faster way. That's all I'm just saying. I'm not saying other companies are not doing. Only thing the trend I'm seeing is just this whoever has taken OKRs, I'm seeing they are ready to embrace AI quickly. Yeah. Any other questions?
There are no questions on the chat box as well. If anybody else has a question, they can go ahead.
Okay, then thank you all of you all for your time. It was really
Sir, I
helpful.
have one question, and today's session was very lengthy and lot of aspects you have covered. Thank you for that. And I just came across your PPT, one thing mentioning about virtual HR help desk. So apart from the chatbot, what else we can cover in this? Because employees come to us for many queries like leave balance or policies, something like that. So apart from the chatbot, what else we can cover in the virtual HR help desk? Because as a first thing, I thought this would be very apt to implement, use the HR in the HR domain, use the AI in the HR domain. So what we can cover in this aspect, sir?
See, Mahalakshmi, you're asking a right question, Mahalakshmi. First, every HR has a different way, correct? Every organization, everyone has different way, correct? Now, you working in that organization, you will know what are the requests coming from your employees to you as a HR, correct? Number one.
Yes.
Because see, today if I tell you something, it may not be relevant to you in your company. Yeah. So what I tell everyone is, first see what are those type of service requests coming in. First, do we have a service request or it is ad hoc or it is email? See what categories they are coming in here. And number one is that. Number two is that information just because they don't have access to it, that's why they're asking you? Second thing. Third thing is it directly from the policy or or they are not able to understand, that's why they're trying to ask a difference here. So what will answer your first question is that for 1 and 2, wherever 1 and 2 are going to be there, that is where every company is using virtual chatbot and virtual assistants immediately ASAP here. Now, what are the predominantly they are using? Payslip, attendance regularization. I forgot to check in, check out. I need a HR reference letter. I need to show that I'm working in this company. How many leave balances are, though I know I'm able to see the leave balances there, but due to some reason, I want to take more than this, then what will be my pay loss for one given day? If I take 5 unpaid days, what will be the cost? Correct. And if my manager is on leave, then who will approve it? That he's not able to see. Correct. So those are typical type of questions which will come in. What I've seen, but again, I will rephrase my word. It has to be based on in your organization in last 24 months or 36 months. What are the requests you have got as a HR head or HR department or as a HR resources? वो देखिए उसके ऊपर से you see that what can be given out of the box, they all need to be implemented, and which the occurrence has happened. If it has occurred only one time, then they are outliers. But if the occurrence has happened multiple times, 2-digit times, then all of that feature needs to go into your virtual chatbot ASAP.
Okay.
That is the best way to do it, because that way what happens, you're reducing your timeline here, your effort, your coordination immediately here.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, guys, I think so. I just need to move in. It was a long session, long day. Thank you for hearing me very patiently. I really appreciate it. Usually, this was my first time doing through webinar. Usually, online, you can see the expression of the face and everything, but I didn't have an AI here to monitor you all guys to know whether you are engaged, not engaged, disengaged. But thank you, everyone. I really appreciate you all heard me very patiently on a Saturday, on a non-working day. And I appreciate Ritika and your organization and community to give me a platform to share my views here. Thank you very much, everyone here.
Thank you, Mihir.
Thank you everybody for joining, and thank you Mihir for sharing such valuable insights. And I hope people start using everything that you've told and the conversation keeps going on.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.